That's an interesting line to come in on, isn't it?
So, yeah, we're having some extreme technical difficulties here. So I hope all is well. We've completely lost comments. So I wonder, can we try?
I'll get the comments back. Don't worry.
So we're going to try and get comments back. But I'm really sorry about this, guys. We're having a lot of technical difficulties. What I put it down to is probably the day before New Year's Day, basically the day before New Year's Eve. And
New Year's Adam.
Apparently, according to the Cupboard Monkey, it's New Year's Adam. And I guess there's just a lot of people online, and it's causing a lot of issues.
And they should all get off because we're busy.
So we've moved over to Dave's 4G connection. Now, I know we had problems with 4G last week, and I think that what actually happened there was we started out on Wi-Fi, and the phone decided to switch to 4G when it lost connection. And it burnt through all my data, which had just come back in. And it's like, aha, you have a month's worth of data. And then, like 12 hours later, it went, you have used 80% of your inclusive data. It's like, ah. So, how are we doing? Adams Railway says, to be fair, it's going better for you than it is for the new Trans-Pennine Express timetable at the moment.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, boom, on message, boom.
Anthony Dodge, hello. Yeah.
I'm going to grab that Class 8 there. This is probably the most modern locomotive that I actually own, which is a Port of Felixstowe Class 8 shunter, and it's Captain Nathaniel. Oh God, I can't even read that. Captain Nathaniel Darrell, and this is the actual shunter that's resident at the Port of Felixstowe, or at least it was. I don't know whether it's still there, probably still is there. But this was a Bachmann Collectors Club model a number of years ago actually, and I picked it up second hand reasonably cheaply.
Where's the train with your name on it?
Train with my name on?
You've got a train with your name on it.
Yeah, it's
hidden away somewhere.
Have
you hidden it downstairs?
Oh, there it is. There, Jenny, the black one at the front.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I can't run it because there's an issue with one of the pickups.
You've broken everything again.
Yes,
Sounds
you
like
did.
Alright, I'm going by.
Double Rail says, hope Dave was unlimited data. I've got about 30 gigs worth of 4G. That should see us.
That
Half
should
an hour.
see us through.
Yeah, we'll get to about 7:30 and it'll probably drop out. Mark asked, why do I like Arriva so much? We were talking about this earlier,
Yeah,
weren't
we talked about this off camera.
So, as a child, we used to go to North Wales a lot. Had a caravan up there. So it was Warrington, Banky up to Llandudno Junction all the time. And I remember it moving from 37s to Sprinters, to 158s. So yeah, super Sprinters.
What year would that have been?
Oh, God knows now. And yeah, it's just hooked since then. Now I'm into the Cambrian coast. That's where we holiday. One of the most picturesque railway lines. If you ever get the chance, highly recommend it.
I've not ridden on the... Actually, no, I tell you that. We've ridden the train from Harlech up to... Oh, what's the station you get off for the Welsh Highland Railway?
Portmaddock.
Yeah. So we've ridden the train from Harlech to there, and that was just because our honeymoon was actually in Harlech, and we went on the the Festiniog Railway. And then we got off at Minforth as well one time, so we went to Port Miriam.
So we've got a lot of people saying Frozen 3 might have a sequel. Ned asked, what's my favourite loco and unit? They're running now.
The trouble with this Class 8, it doesn't...
Because it's not a Reaver.
I think it's because it's old.
Yeah.
What it needs... Oh, it's not doing it.
Oh, Matt Mars, really? Like, I'm going to be touching points here.
Keep Dave off shunting. Why? What have you done?
Because I haven't fitted my point motors, because like I said, I'm moving over to Tim Horn base motors.
Right.
So there's a lot of hand
the hand
of gods. Yeah, and it seemed to trigger Matt and a few others. So
I suppose if you've got cameras within the model, the hand of God is a bit sort of like
at one point it became more of a torso of God as I tried to reach over. But it's fine, because, you know, I'm going to keep it that way now, because I know Matt Maz gets really triggered. Somerset Andy says hello to us both.
Hello.
Phil had a caravan in Anglesey for 20 years. in Mid Wales now. Whereabouts, Phil? In Mid Wales.
So my parents, with their caravan, we used to go to Conway.
Yep.
Carnarvon. There was a site called Coed Helen at Carnarvon, which is really nice. And Red Wolf Bay on Anglesey is really nice as well.
Nick, okay, there's a nice area around there. What else have we got?
I'm going to back this 20 with the... I thought I'd get Dave feeling at home. I found my most modern stock and had it running when he came round. So we've got a Class 20 Waterman Railways livery, which you might recognise from the very final episode of Great Model Railway Challenge, because it's actually the train, well the locomotive, that was doing the rounds, trundling around our Dr. Evil layout. But I'm going to get that running, and with it we've got a pair of mainline blue livery HEAs, a ICI methanol TTA, and then a is that coal sector? I can't.
Yep, looks it.
I think both of them are coal sector, but there's an MFA and an MEA. I'm just having a look. Yeah, that's coal sector.
Well, thanks for subscribing to me, Barry.
Transrail.
Says, haven't seen your channel, but now having a good look, subscribing, great content, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody head on over to Cotton after the live stream, of course.
Yes,
and
after.
Check out his channel. Some great content on there. And also don't forget to subscribe, share, tell everybody you know about it as well. It's the way to go. And also, if you haven't subscribed to myself, don't forget to do so. Really, I'm clutching at straws really, it being the day before New Year's Eve, but I was hoping I might hit 9,000 subs by the end of the year. I don't think it's going to happen, but we're certainly getting painfully close.
Yeah, it's...
What I need is New Junction found his way to the back into the room.
I think Richard is with us somewhere.
He's in spirit, yeah. You need to pimp for me. Tell all your people to come and subscribe. Who
what
else?
else have we got?
D827 Kelly. Other half's brother has moved to Anglesey. Aha. Anglesey is quite a lovely place. I can remember going out to Valley, which is a very strange name when you think of calling a place Valley. It's where the nuclear flasks used to go to.
Richard is here.
Oh, hello. Ah, yeah. Oh, I gave him the spanner of ultimate power. I've forgotten about that.
Or for him, it's a spanner of doom. He's...
Is that what he calls it on his...
No, he is a spanner of doom.
So how long have you known him for?
A few years now.
Right. So did you meet through YouTube, was it? Or through
Yeah, he
something else?
stalked me.
Did he?
Yeah, he stalked me.
Why did he stalk you?
I don't know.
Oh, I've had a few stalkers in my time, but normally they do things like show up where I'm working. And go, hello, oh Jenny.
Barry says New Junction works for Bachman or someone, doesn't he? No,
Hornby Magazine.
Hornby Magazine he
Yeah.
works for.
Although, as I accidentally said BRM the other day, and he very angrily corrected me. What's wrong with BRM?
What do you mean there was a bromance, Dave? It's still there. Anthony says there are so many great new channels, always new and cool ones to find. There is. I shared one the other day actually. If I have a look through here.
Gosh, you're very technically savvy here. I'm looking at windows whiz everywhere. It's like that film with Tom Cruise, Minority Report.
Well, I would do, but the community tab, I don't know if people can see this, but it doesn't work on iPad for some reason. So that should be where your posts appear.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that is true actually. So Richard's just put mine and David's better halves question our relationship. There was a moment, and I'll say this now, and he's gonna laugh because it is quite funny. Marvin Gaye "Let's Get It On" came on my iPhone, so I took a screenshot and sent it to him as his missus looked at his phone, and there was a very awkward questioning going back and forth between them.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Oh.
That one, haven't I?
I've eaten loads. Come on, get stuck in there.
I am.
We've got 3 boxes. You can take a box home with you.
That sounds like a good plan. Yeah, David says, I can't believe that. Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
David Watt says, what locos are running? Right, well, there is a 45-1 going around the outside, and then we've got your 67 in Arriva Wales, and was it a 156?
8.
158.
You're close.
It's all this modern stuff. It all looks the same to me. It's boxed with windows. And then we've got a class 20 in Waterman Railways livery, trundling around on the topmost track. So, yeah, it's quite an eclectic mix, I think. It's the most modern that I've ever had on my model railway.
Combat Bonnie Rails have some big sales today. It's not actually big sales if you have a look. It's their calendar. They've opened up again.
Who's this?
Rails of Sheffield. So if you
So
have a
all
look,
the ones that were in their advent calendar are now on sale
Yes,
again, as
yes.
they were in the advent calendar. So
well, the same prices that they were in the advent calendar.
yeah, and there's some good deals actually, I have to say. The Helgen 1366 tanks and the 1361 tank. Have we just frozen?
You may well have. We should have a look.
Yeah,
No, still on.
Are we still on? So if I is that live? If I make yeah, we are still live.
It had froze on my iPad, that's what it was.
Fair enough. But yeah, chocolatey fingerprints. Yeah, Ham Shackleton. I can sympathise with that. On my phone and scoffing chocolate in bed. In fact, that also brings in the other problem, which is chocolate bits in bed. Never try and eat a Cadbury's flake in bed. It all ends in tears. You wake up in the morning with chocolate everywhere.
Just melt it.
No, it does melt. It looks like you've had some kind of a hemorrhage in the night. It's horrible. But Tim's Trains are still live. Cool. How conjunction vid okay? Chat froze on me. Basing TMD still good. Mike Rock, hi to you. Ham Shackleton. Now! Oh, is that that's not Spaceballs reference, is it?
No idea. eBay are doing brand new laptops for £89.
Oh, I don't want a laptop. I'm old school.
Alan says, just got a new Dapple 68 with sound less than 200. Superb model, noisy though. Not sure about the sound. Hello, Growler.
Oh, hi to you. Is that the Growler Blackwood N-gauge layout? Good evening to you. G. McCloy. Sound and vision good. Mike Roch. Ham Shackleton. I was going to put the vid has frozen again, but it restarted. And we're apparently still live in Northern Ireland. The video. Oh no, it's just. It's weird because it's on a delay. So
yeah, there's a slight.
I get to look at the side of my head.
Ben says, what would you like to see in the Hornby 2020 range?
You see, I think it's a centenary year. I would have loved to have seen the Stevenson's rocket set that they did in 00 back in the 1970s. I would have loved to have seen that reappear as part of the anniversary, but unfortunately, I was speaking to Simon Kohler about this, and he said actually all this old tooling has been junked by the previous management, so there is no battle space
for that.
Yeah, I mean, to not even offer it for sale, to just junk it, and they probably paid somebody to take it for scrap. I mean, that's how stupid they probably were. So all of these old mouldings, they can't make them, even if they wanted to anymore, which I found quite upsetting, because the Stevenson's rocket set with the coaches was actually, I thought, a pretty reasonable set. And I could still see it selling very well as like a box set, a bit like how they did the Peckett W4 in the Huntley and Palmer livery with the 3 wagons.
Yeah, that would work really well.
They could have done that as a presentation set, and I think it would have sold very well, and it fits in with it being a centenary year really well.
Matt Mouse says it's going to be an APT surely. No comment.
Has somebody done the APT already? Was that?
There was an APT, Cameron who did the APT, the original one. But no, yeah, we'd have to wait and see about that. I'm trying to be careful because I have been told a few bits, and I don't want to leak it out the embargo.
Which is kind of why I'm talking about things which you have not mentioned too.
Yes.
By keeping playing it. So
I would like to see them focus on what they do best, which is entry sort of models and some that are good detailing but not over the top. They're not into Bachman or Acura scale territory, but it keeps the price point low. But that's what I'd like them to do.
I know what you mean, keeping it affordable. But it has to be said that Hornby has done very, very well up till now in keeping that entry level open,
And that's
which
pretty
the
much
other
like
manufacturers just aren't catering for. One of the things that I reviewed a little while ago now was actually the Paddington train set, which is aimed very, very squarely at the very young entry level. And I thought it was a brilliant value for money set for bringing the younger generation in without, having detail that falls off or, be very easily damaged. It was a very rugged and reliable set. And they also do things like they did the Harry Potter set, which it's actually a pretty good value for money set.
Same with the Coca-Cola one. It's a bit toy-y, yes, but it's great.
It's great for kids, and that's what you've got to make sure you don't overlook, is that kids see things very differently from adults, and they see play value. And a lot of these things have the play value, which I guess is something that Mum and Dad don't want to spend 200 quid on a locomotive for it to have limited play value before bits start falling off. Have we gone to adverts?
No, I closed it and restarted it just to catch us up on it.
Ah, right, I'm with you. So I'd love to see, in terms of new models, I'm not sure, but in terms of re-liveries, I can see a lot of scope, I think, for producing re-liveries of existing stuff in the range. Maybe it's a bit selfish of me, but I would love to see a presentation set of Manchester Ship Canal locomotives. And now they've already got 3 potential candidates in the range. They could produce the W4 Peckett, but with, say, number 12 instead of, they did number 11 before. Do it as number 12. Manchester Ship Canal Railway had 3 of those W4 Pecketts. The 4-wheel chain drive Sentinel as something like DH17, and also they do the Hunslet Austerity. I'd love to see that appear in the Manchester Ship Canal livery. I think they had 2 of the Hunslet Austerities, and it would be nice to see maybe the 3 of those in the MSC livery packaged up in a presentation case. But maybe that's a bit selfish from me.
There's a few here. So Davison Railway says DRS coaches. I agree with that one. That would be great. Alex Pomray, I'd love to see Aspinall's L and YR locos announced. That's 23 and 27. Richard says, I'd like someone to do a TPE 185. Now I agree with that one. Trans-Pennine Express 185. It's one of those boxes with windows.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Is that the one and the seats don't quite line up with the windows?
Yes, yes.
What's that about anyway? did they give the putting the windows in to a different bloke who didn't talk to the guy who was putting the seats in?
Pretty much.
Or was it that they were originally designed for having a little bit more legroom than they ultimately ended up with?
Some of them, it's actually the other way around. Some of them were designed to like cows, like they do down south, and then they've moved stuff for luggage racks and things like that, so then the seats slightly move out.
Right.
So yeah, if people didn't go on with suitcases, you'd sit by a window.
Oh, interesting. Ham Shackleton says, I'd love to see a properly engineered heritage support coach with the Jenny and heaters in DCC. Now actually that's quite a good idea, because it when you think about value adding to a range from a commercial point of view, a coach like that allows people like you who model super modern stuff to justify having occasional steam locomotives as well, which helps the manufacturer to sell those things to a bigger audience. So I can well see the advantage of that. As far as I'm aware, the only people who've ever done a support coach is Bachman did the National Railway Museum BSK in the National Railway Museum livery, and that was done as a special for the Railway Museum, and that must be about 10-12 years ago now. It's a long time. Because I'm trying to think back when I picked one up from York Museum, and again that's probably another one of the slightly anomalous items that I own is I've got the NRM support coach somewhere in my fiddle yard underneath.
Ned said, I like to say Class 175, it was rumoured last year. I don't think anyone's going to make a Class 175 unless it goes to one of the niche models.
Is it, what is it about the 175 that is...
It's pretty much the stalwart of Arriva Trains Wales fleet. It's up and down the entire country, but nobody makes it because it's only ever ran in 3 liveries that I'm aware of, which was the first Trans-Pennine, and as well the Transport for Wales.
And would there be licensing issues with some of those liveries?
There would be with Arriva. It's rumoured that that's why Bachmann haven't released the Arriva one and the new one. Sorry, the Arriva livery on the new 158, which is really disappointing. But I don't know. I was saying to Richard the other day that if manufacturers made unbranded versions, so the Pendolino that's been seen in pure white, like, that would be very easy for Hornby to make, and that would be another one it could add to its fleet.
But how many people are prepared to put their own liveries on them? I
think not just that, but for the fact that if you want to run properly modern image, that the pure white ones are still going to be around for quite a while. They're not going to get rebranded yet. I think it would sell. I don't think you'd make as many as you would do in the Virgin or whatever. And yeah, as Ned said, he wants to see an Avanti West Coast Pendolino. I think they would sell. But like the units, so the 158, that's been done in pure white and red. Same with the 153 and the 156. The 185, that's a debranded version as well. And these are no licensing costs. So, you know,
So what's the biggest selling area? Is it still the Steam era, or is the modern image stuff really starting to pick up?
I feel like modern image is catching up, but I think...
Is that because there's more people who are interested in that period?
I think it's a lot of fresh blood are also helping. GMRC and stuff did bring new people into the hobby.
It did, yes. And a lot of them were like families who aren't necessarily like prototypically interested. It's just about wanting to be creative. But that said, I guess a lot of people like what they see every day. And I guess there's a lot of younger people, you know, steam locomotives, you'd only ever really see them at preserved lines, and if you don't get taken to preserved lines, you'd never really see them.
Growler says, what do people think of the Avanti livery? Doesn't do much for me. No, but apparently it took 200 people to design a triangle.
What?
Yeah, the new livery took 200 people to design.
What were they all doing?
I have no idea.
A lot of people holding a lot of beers and going, it's alright, we'll charge this to the client.
Somerset Andy says, hello to us both. 67 and the 60 are stunning models. I do agree, I have a 60 in DB Schenker livery with TTS sound, and that is amazing.
Is that the Hornby model again?
That is the Hornby
model.
model.
How would you rate the 60? Again, it's another model which, in my head, I'm thinking railroad, but it's not.
It's far from it. It is really well detailed.
Right. So was there a railroady version before?
I think there was a Lima Class 60.
Right, that'd be where I'm getting confused.
But even then, if you buy the detailed pack, looks absolutely fantastic. There are many examples.
Well, they do say that a lot of the old Lima models, especially the late-on ones, were actually pretty good. And the Hornby Class 66 is a warmed-over Lima model, effectively, isn't it? Am I right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people do sing its praises because you can get it for such a cheap price. And it's not a woefully detailed model. It's actually, you know, it holds its own and offers amazing value for money and in that price bracket.
Matt Oval said, if manufacturers like Hornby produce unbranded liveries, then surely third-party companies could buy them and produce many different liveries. Yeah.
Well, didn't Bachmann produce unnumbered stuff, or is this something completely different? They did try unnumbered locomotives,
yeah, I think
they just didn't sell.
Yeah. Anthony says, it seems like a brilliant idea on branded locos and cars, especially with so many companies now able to cheaply make, I can't pronounce that one, various liveries. It seems like a market stream infraction. Exactly. But when I've mentioned it to people like Simon at Worley, they were just not interested, and I don't
Simon tends to. The thing I found about Simon
get that, or if it turns out there's a load of unbranded stuff in this next year, I want 10% of whatever they make.
The thing about Simon is I wouldn't play poker with him because he's very good at keeping a straight face to tell you, no, it's not really on our radar, and then it comes out in the next announcement. So he's just very good at playing the cards close to his chest.
There is, Richard will know this if he's still in the chat. Who was the company that did the 90 Euro Phoenix vinyls? But I can't remember, because he does a load of them.
That's really weird that I can see myself stuffing my face with chocolate on the... It's very strange with the delay.
No, it's not Rainbow, it's the one that does the vinyls that I can't remember the name of. Electra, that's it. Electra Rail Graphics does all the different overlays for various different ones.
Yeah, he's just put it up in the...
Matt says, was this for chocolate? Got another one.
Are you having any of these, or am I just talking on them whilst you're...
I am eating some.
It's like they go, eat more, I will get a good price for you at market when you are fucking dead.
You get plenty for me then. I now have 7 of the Hornby 66, just over 100 quid with a sound chip. Yeah, and I'm sure there's actually some of them that do loco plus sound for I think it's £99. So it's just under. There are some manufacturers, some resellers that are doing that.
That's not a bad price. Andrew, one of the things that I would like to see expanded in the Hornby TTS sound chip range, and I think I'm not alone in really wanting a Class 25 TTS sound chip, because Hornby do have a Railroad Class 25 in their range, so it's inside the ballpark to have a Class 25 TTS sound chip, and that would really sell well, because there's a lot of people like me who've got an awful lot of Class 25s going begging for a sound chip at a reasonable price. The other one as well, actually, that I think would be another good shoe-in is a Class 42 TTS sound chip, because again, they have a Class 42 in their railroad range, and I think a sound chip for that would do very well. Not least because I want one from a Bachmann 42.
I think for me, TTS works great, but only if you change the speaker. There's only a few that I really like the sound like. The 08 and TTS, I think the speaker's brilliant.
The
but
Class 20 is pretty good as well.
There are certain ones, the 66 and 67 for me needs more bass.
Yeah, the 37 is a bit poor. I find with the speaker that's supplied, that does benefit from a new speaker. It's like they've got a lot of speakers. Like there's only the Class 8 aside, there's only 2 different types of speakers that they give with them, and they don't
rectangle or circle. That's it.
Yeah, and they don't quite fit in a lot of the locomotives, even when they're supposed to. They're very peculiar. It's like they've just got a job lot from some manufacturer somewhere. But I would like to see TTS sound chips, not just for the 25 and the 42. There's also the Q1, I think, is desperately crying out for a TTS sound chip. What are the locos as well? Maybe even a sound chip for their 8-coupled tank locomotives, Great Western tanks, things like the 42XX, the 52XX and the 72XX. Now that would necessitate a little bit of a redesign of the chassis to fit that in, but they've done it before with other locos. Things like the A4, they tweaked that to be able to fit a TTS sound in when the original Super Detail model wasn't geared up for it, so it can be done.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to release new variants, they should at least think about catering for the speakers. But I know for mine, my 37s will get TTS. I don't know why I'm pointing back there as though they're all behind you.
Well, there happens to be a TTS
yes.
fitted 37 right there.
I'll probably steal that on the way home.
Oh, well, interesting enough, we were talking about the rail sale. They've got, if they've still got any in, they've got a regional railway
yes.
delivery 37.
Yep.
So I think it's £99.
Yep.
Which is actually really good.
I know. I'm £99 later.
Oh, you bought one?
Yes. I did it this morning.
Did you?
Yes. No, but it's why I go to Rails and Roads, and I'm getting the iPhone speakers to replace mine. So my 37s will have TTS.
I've had mixed luck with iPhone speakers, and I don't know whether I'm wiring them up wrong. If you wire them up backwards, do they sound atrocious?
No idea. Never tried it before.
Because I've got the 20. Let me see if I can find it. I can never remember which one it is. I fitted one of these with iPhone speakers. I don't know why I'm shaking it. I think it might be this one. And I'll fire her up. But she doesn't sound right. But then I've got one which has got the actual Hornby speaker, and it sounds amazing.
Neds, they do have them in stock, but you'll have to get them now because it is low stock. So
what's this?
The Regional Railways Class 37.
Yeah, it is quite. The model's been around a while, so this is sort of like the last gasp to shift stock, I guess.
Yeah, so go and get one.
It was a regional exclusive for a while.
Well, let's be honest, Batman are getting kicked all over the park at the minute, especially with the Acura Scales announcements of the various different 37s that they're releasing.
But again, it's expense. It's, do you want all singing, all dancing, but paying for it, or are you happy with a model which actually people were quite happy with?
I've gone for. I have a few which are really paid for and got the detail, and then I build up my numbers with stuff that I'm not really going to detail well.
How do you get it louder? Because it doesn't.
I have no idea on yours, but that sounds like the speaker hasn't been sealed properly.
So what would I need to do?
Take it out and reseal it.
When you say reseal it?
I have no idea what people mean by it, but it sounds like a slightly blown speaker. I think you wrap it in something.
But then when you compare that to, just turn that one off, you can hardly hear that. And it sounds slightly rattly, like the speaker's vibrating.
Hunty said the Acura Scale haven't released any locos.
There's some on the way.
Yeah, they are. They've launched them and they're available for pre-order and purchase. So
Can I just say that the Acura Scale wagons that I've been reviewing, and I've got some more on the way, are amazing. So if their locomotives are half as good as their wagons, then it should be something quite special.
Well, I've paid for the Euro Phoenix with sound, and they just released. They just launched.
See the difference?
Yeah, it sounds like we've got a bad speaker in that one. And the Acura Scale Originals. Oh, my wife texted me again. The Acura Scale Original 97.3, so the Network Rail 97.301, and I've got that as well. And they're for £259.99 with sound.
To seal the speaker, place it into position, then press blue tack around the edges to bond it to the chassis, says Ham Shackleton.
There you go.
I will try that actually, because this has got exactly the same sound chip in as this does, and you've just heard the difference, and the only difference between the two is the speakers. Right, I'm going to put that back there. Put this back on the shelf. Oh.
There are plenty up there to choose from.
There are actually.
You need to get you a unit. You need to get you
A unit?
Yeah, a proper modern unit.
Well, I've got, there's class 108, 105, 101. They lasted until quite late. I've got a 411 underneath there as well. That's a nice piece of kit.
They are, but they're not boxes with windows, as you so eloquently put them.
I've got a 122. They lasted even later.
To be fair, most of those are still running on heritage lines now.
Well, yeah, but the steam loco's running on heritage lines. But in frontline service, I can remember going into Manchester on class 108s. The 101s lasted till about 2001, 2002.
D827 Kelly says apparently unbranded, unnumbered models are not commercially viable from what likes of Revolution have said. I suppose that's they're on a slightly different scale to the likes of Hornby, though, who can throw out a new livery and try it and see what it works.
Well, Bachmann tried unnumbered locomotives back in the late 90s, and by all accounts, they barely sold any. They ended up getting remaindered out for peanuts, and people were using them as a source of spare chassis.
But I suppose that's why I like what Rapido Trains does, where you go for a statement of intent, don't you, first? You turn around and say, I would order this, which I think they've just done with there's an American one, if someone can tell me in the chat. Can't remember what it is. It's an American one, and it's going to bug me now, because I can see it in my head what it is. But they've asked, because they're not sure whether it's financially viable, so they asked people up front, would you pay for this?
Rapido Trains, they're pretty much done on a subscriber basis. You put yourself down for one, and when they make models, they make the number to the orders, and there's very few over.
Like the Engaged Pendolino, which I'm so gutted I didn't get one at.
Robert Crossley says, something to look forward to, Jenny. You're an inspiration. Oh, I love comments like this. All the best for the forthcoming year to you and Zoe. Thank you very much. That's really kind words. Ham Shackleton says, I said blue tack because if you decide it's worse, you can remove it again. That is always very sensible, actually. Sensible.
Oh, there's a lot there from Ben Davis.
Oh, would like to see the Hornby 2020 USATC S160. This does come up a lot in wish lists. So I think it is only a matter of time for the S160. Highland Railway Jones Goods, again, that does score quite highly. North British Railway K-Class, not familiar with that one. London and South Western Railway H16, Terrier and Morpry grouping. I think the Terrier is going to. They've already announced a further run of these Terriers.
It's a stalwart of Hornby's catalogue, isn't it? They know it's going to sell.
Always used to be. The old version did. So I think we're going to see a couple of Terrier liveries every single year now. It's going to be a mainstay.
D827 Kelly says KR models haven't released a single item yet, so still too much on the know. I have a funny story about Keith at KR Models. So, at the Worley...
Is this a good or a bad story?
It depends on your perspective.
Yeah.
So, at Worley, he met him and I was chatting and I said, like, I do love the GT3, but it's just not my thing. Because he was trying to get me to pre-order one. I said, well, I'm like, fantastic model, great technical, but it's not for me. And then I got a message off him about 2 weeks after Worley, where he'd confused me with Dave Watson of Dean Park Station.
Oh, right, yeah.
So part of me was like, do I just play along and see how this goes? Or do I tell him? So after about 20 minutes I said, look, I think you confused me with Dave, and then all of a sudden the chat just stopped and he disappeared. I was like,
oh, that's a bit
awkward.
Yeah.
Cancel that pre-order.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, so he said, David Watt says 148 watched but only 37 likes. How can this be? Don't forget to smash that like button. It's very good for massaging my ego. But also, if you've not already done so, do check out the channel and consider subscribing. Certainly we've got plenty of range of videos already up there. I'm at nearly at 800 videos. I don't know how it happened, but I've got a lot of videos. And we've also got to come, there's another epic layout, quick build video to come as well. Off the back of the one that we did for Hornby that I showed you earlier on, and that you can go and see on the Hornby channel, and there's also a full version went out on Christmas Day on this channel. We filmed a follow-up, which is a minimum space O-gauge layout, and I built it from start to finish in 7 hours. And catalogue that on camera. So we've edited that up, and that's going to go out, I think, if not this Friday, then possibly next Friday. So do look out for that. But yeah,
I will say I have seen it. It is something to behold. It is.
You've just seen it by looking underneath behind me.
I wouldn't. Don't give them a sneak peek. Let them watch the video.
I'm not going to pull that out. Is quite epic. I can show you the photographs later on, but it's. It is quite impressive, I guess. But
David Watt says, are the Hornby Class 66s any good? I'm looking forward to the Royal Pirate liveries that are coming.
I've heard good things about them, and they're rugged, reliable. They're not the most detailed, but they are pretty acceptable. And for the price, they're remarkably good value for money.
My only comment would be is add some additional weight, especially to the rear.
Are they all-wheel drive or not?
No, they're not.
Right. So
Only
do they
ones
pick up from all wheels?
Yes, they're fairly certain there's pickups on both, but
But there's only a motor drive to one bogey.
Yeah.
Right.
that's a point actually, Ham Shackleton. They did the nuclear. Was that the nuclear fast wagon with the closing door? I'm sure that was a DCC function.
Closing door on the
So it's like one of the steel wagons. It covers so that the door opens and closes.
Oh, a bit like the BRA steel strip carriers.
Yes, similar to that. Yeah, DCC fitted. I remember.
So you can open it up and let the radiation out.
Yeah, basically, you can.
Oh, KR. Who's KR?
KR models. It's Keith at KR models.
They apparently cancelled their nuclear wagon. Mark Singleton says, can't wait for Dave Poll's O-Gauge 66. A lot of people have been talking about this. The 66 does seem to be very much in vogue. And I have to say, I was surprised in a way that when Hattons have done their 001 that they didn't announce an O-Gauge one at the same time, unless they already knew that Daypol were doing
That's my
the 00 and
my
didn't want to
thinking,
tread on toes. Or it may be, I mean, somebody is manufacturing the locomotives for Hattons, and maybe it's Daypol.
Do you know what? As a side chat, Big Sid has just come up with a really good suggestion there.
Big Sid, I've just thought of a drinking game. Put your bottle on a flatbed, take a swig every time it comes round. I think it wouldn't get far because there's just beer on the layout.
No, but if you had a shot glass, that would fit under the tunnels.
Interesting. There's a bit like, I used to have a drinking game that I used to play to watching episodes of Jeremy Kyle. So every time somebody came out with an attitude problem, you had to drink. Anytime somebody came out and said, I'll take a lie detector test, you drank them. Every time somebody said, I'll pass the lie detector 110%, you drink. If you had teeth like a badly kept graveyard, then that was another drink. And it went on, so I forget at what point we just basically ended up blind drunk.
Yeah, it does seem a bit coincidental that Maz, if DRS aren't giving him information. We're talking. Yeah, DRS weren't forthcoming with certain details. Not long after, another company announced one very similar anyway. So
Was that you a bit early to drink? I beg to differ. It's past 12 o'clock.
It's past 12 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah. There's a song. Is that
It's happy hour
is it Warren Buffett or something, the song? It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yep. Yeah, Curascale probably got an arrangement linked to their Class 37. Who knows? All I know is I'm really looking forward to both of those 37s that I've got. I may have to steal a Bachmann one in Euro Phoenix just to compare the two.
See, people keep asking me about. I know there's this Sutton Models 24. People say, "Oh, are you going to get one? You're going to get one," and it's very expensive. Excuse me. And I'll be honest with you, I'm quite happy with my Bachmann 24s. And I made the mistake when Bachmann brought out their All Singing, All Dancing Class 3 shunter that I bought one. And the moment I put it next to the old mainline Class 3 shunters, I took all of my mainline Class 3 shunters off the layout and I gave them to my little nephew. And I've never seen them since, and I don't want to see them again. And I'm frightened that if I got a Sutton Locomotive Works Class 24, I'd suddenly find that I have a huge chunk of my fleet would just become unwanted.
I think one of the guys, one of the friends I know, Dave, I'm sure he's got one of them.
There's a lot of people called Dave.
I know loads of people love them. Hunseat Model Railways come up with another drinking game. So if you watch Red Dwarf and drink every time they say smeg, you may get very, very drunk.
I suspect you're right.
Philip Page says Britain's most scenic railways is on Channel 5 for 2 hours.
Oh.
I must admit, I
Is that a Michael Tillo one?
No, it's not, thankfully.
Old deck chair trousers.
They go around different lines, and the episode 3 was the Cambrian line, which is what I want to base mine on.
Yes.
And it takes you down because most of it's obviously single line, and you get passing links and stuff. But it shows you through different bits that are on the line, so it stops off at Harlech Castle and things and takes you around.
Yeah. And presumably does Minforth and does like Up Myrian.
Yep, does a big piece on Barmouth Bridge as well. If you get a chance, you can catch it all up on 5 on demand. It's a really good series to watch. Yeah, D827 Kelly says there's no comparison between the Bachmann 24 and the SLW 24. He's now got 3.
You see, I mean, I'm just looking around. Where's my 24s hiding? Here we are. There's a 24.
Well done, Ned. You won't regret ordering that Regional Railways 37.
So, I quite...
We should take commission from Rails on this.
I already do from patterns when people follow affiliate links. It's probably a bit. There's a lot of people harumphing right now, but
there's a lot of people that do that about affiliate links anyway in YouTube. So
to be honest, there's a lot of people on YouTube who take offence that you might actually earn a few shekels off doing something, which is like, you know, it's not selling out. It's just how you put a roof over your head. But no, it's one of the ways that you can make videos to the extent that you make videos without having to beggar yourself in the process.
I don't think it's that. I think it's manufacturers' attitudes are changing, and this is actually one of the biggest forms of media for advertising in a way. Because let's be honest, when they give you something to review, it is an advertisement for that company, be that good or bad.
Yeah. So, for example, I mean, I got a lot of people getting a bit sniffy about the fact that I got sent review samples. So that is Wednesday's video, being sent over by Dapol. I still don't know if they want it back. I did ask him, and he didn't actually answer.
Is that Neil?
Yeah,
he'll get back to you in about 3 weeks. Neil's great.
Well, no, I've spoken to him since, and I did actually ask him in email. I said, so what do you want doing with this model now? Expecting to say, here's an address, bung it back in the post. And he answered every single point in the email, except the bit about what to do with this. So, it's sort of, I've got to be very careful with it, because I don't want to break it, obviously. But he was very cryptic in this original email, because he said, here is your very own Sentinel to review, but I don't know whether that's just a turn of phrase, or did he mean like Merry Christmas?
You'll find out. Ned's Train says, what's better, the Class 42 warship or the 37 from Bachmann? I think it's no question really, it's the 37, has to be.
The warship is not a bad model when you consider its age.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, because it's derived from a model from Mainline in the was that certainly early 80s.
No idea.
It goes back some. I mean, it's not exactly the same model, but they've updated it a few times.
That's a fair point, Kelly. Without Patreon and affiliate links, you can't really make a day job out of YouTube. And it's not that people make. Some people do have this as their day job, quite obviously. So Sam's Trains is probably number one.
Yes, and there's some quite big name YouTubers. I follow Tyler Hoover does Hoover's Garage, and he does it as a full-time job.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of them that all do it.
Yeah, and you won't get stinking rich doing model rail videos, but you might keep a roof over your head. I think there's some people who say, oh, you've sold out, you've gone commercial. And I remember once an interview with Dave Mustaine of Megadeth. And he said, what do you say to your fans who say you've sold out and gone too commercial? And he says, I thought that was the whole point, was to make money out of it. Why would you want to make music if nobody wants to listen to it? And it's a bit like that in a way.
Yeah, exactly, David, and that's the point. As long as your reviews are honest, then that's fine.
Yeah, and I always say to manufacturers, what I do is I film them, they get edited up, and then they go up as an unlisted video, and I send a link back to the manufacturer, and I say, to all of them, perfectly fair, if there are factual errors, I will correct a factual error but I will not change the substance of the review. You know, if I found a fault with it and say I found a fault with it or this is wrong, that's not open to discussion. And actually, credit to the manufacturers, they all recognise that, and every single one of them has said that's absolutely fair, we wouldn't have it any other way. Because from their point of view, they don't want to send out these models, get them reviewed, and the reviews just be like, oh yes, it's great, oh isn't it wonderful, and completely gloss over the flaws, because people would no longer trust the reviewers, and therefore, you know, you shoot in the foot your main source of getting your the reviews of your models out there.
I bought the back number book, or I didn't get sent it. You know, and
I had to buy it. Hatton's didn't give me that, and the one that New Junction and Sam's Trains got, I expect they had the same thing, where they let you have it for they effectively deducted the cost of the return postage. So I think it would have cost them like £7 to send it back to Hatton's, which they would cover because they'd sent it, and they said you can buy it and we'll kind of knock that off. So I did actually buy my Class 122.
Oh, Gary's joined us. Hello, Gary. Fellow GMRC modeler. Cheeky Tech. Yeah, I mean, I bought mine from Dapple at Alsager, actually. And on mine, I called out the fact that the steps on the cab number 2, I think it is, they're about 2 mil, because they're hand fitted, they're about 2 mil too short on some of them. You literally have to prise it off and move it up slightly, otherwise it catches on the detailing and you can't turn.
Right. So I never picked up on that, and that's sometimes it's nice when you have lots of different reviews, because we're not all putting out the same message, and I guess some of us pick up on different things, either faults, but also as well I've noticed sometimes a YouTuber will pick up on a detail that maybe other people have missed, and with a lot of these models the detail has a lot to give, in that the more you look into a model, the better you realise it is. So there's a few models that I've done where I've reviewed them, and when I've been talking with the manufacturer, they said, oh, well, you know, we're really impressed that you spotted X, Y and Z, because that's something we're really proud of, and we were hoping somebody would spot it. I know when I did the Hatton 66, again, which I had to send back, that wasn't a freebie.
What's that one?
What's what?
I'm joking for anyone that turns around and says,
"Oh, no, I don't do modelling." But with that, some of the printing on the of the detail, the tampo printing, was so fun, and we had it under immense magnification, and you could actually read it. And when I was talking to, I forget their names, the guy who, is he called Dave? There's a lot of people at Hatton's called Dave.
there is Dave and Jack, are the two prominent ones.
Not those two, but he's the guy who does all the special commissions.
Dave.
The other Dave.
Yeah, the other Dave.
And I was talking to him about it, and he said, "Oh, I'm really pleased that you picked up on that, because we're really proud about it." And he was telling me that he said, I wasn't sure just how small they could get with the tampo printing. So he said, I sent them a CAD with all of the detail going right down to the minute on. And I thought, yeah, bollocks to it, I'll just see what happens. And he says, it actually came back legible under magnification. So I think he was as impressed by the tampo printing process as I was as somebody outside of the design process.
What else?
Somerset Andy says, Jenny, have you got a Class 56? No, but a 56 has come on my radar. I always vowed I'd never get a Class 56, but I do now quite like the original rail blue, small logo rail blue. So that's actually one. It'd be interesting to see what liveries the 56 turns up in the 2020 range in. So I'm hoping that it comes out, you know, the sort of plain, I call it small logo BR blue.
I must admit, I really like it in colourless livery at the 56, because every now and again during the autumn months, you get to see it coming up the West Coast Main Line, bringing timber trains.
Oh right, and the OTA wagons.
Yeah, and
The cut down
it's
VDAs.
great to see that.
See, I do know some modern stuff.
What else have we got? Christopher Koch says our Backman's Easy app train set called Blue Star. Run it via Bluetooth on my iOS devices. Jason's joined us from Barnabas. Hello, Jason. Warrington Train Spotters joined us. Angus Trains.
Yeah, Anthony Dodge, the model train outsider. Years ago, when my kids were young, I had a secondary job where we reviewed new toys from toy companies. It was more job than play for sure. Yeah, and I think a lot of people think, oh, wouldn't it be great to be sent all these free models? Well, A, they're not all free, as quite a few of the YouTubers who do the reviews with the manufacturers will attest to. Some of the items you have to send back. Others you can buy them at a reduced price. There's not a huge amount that you get to keep, and invariably the stuff that I get sent is quite often stuff that I don't really want, so I give it away.
And if you do, it's just goodwill from the manufacturer. It doesn't
Yeah.
affect.
Yeah.
That's the difference. If it affects your review of the product, people will find out very easily.
Yeah, people can tell. I mean, it's something I always said when I was talking to I think it was Scott Rhodes of Oxford Rail, and I said I think the thing that YouTube reviewers have, which the companies themselves cannot replicate, is it's all very well when a company has their own YouTube channel and reviews their own products. Oh, isn't it great? We've done this, and it comes across like QVC, and it has that slightly not quite. I don't want to use the word sincere, but you know what I mean. It comes across as on the stage.
Yeah, it's.
Whereas a YouTuber reviewer like myself, like yourself, like New Junction, etc. And I think what then comes over is it's the genuine opinion of what you see when.
No, I thought it was. It's not.
You review it as a genuine punter, as it were, and I think that's why they've kind of cottoned onto the.
Gary's messaged in here, and it reminded me of his. So Gary's just done a review on the new HST that's been released in the old or the original HST livery.
Oh right.
And he said he agrees completely with it.
With what?
No, with what you just said.
Yeah. Where we. Barnabas Junction says, Jenny, please check your phone hasn't dropped the Wi-Fi as I'm getting buffering. We're not on the Wi-Fi though, are we?
No, we're on 5G.
So, 5G.
5G.
Hey, all the more comms there.
If it is buffering for anyone else, just throw it in the chat for us, please. And we'll try and sort it out. Yeah, I was about to read the same comment. It's spot on.
Yeah, and I think, it's kind of nice that if you'd have asked me a year ago, like, do you think you'll get support from the manufacturers in terms of getting sent out review copies, I'd have said no. But it is nice when it's come, but it's, as the comment we were talking about earlier on, it's not all fun and games. There's a lot of work involved. I mean, as you know yourself, when you review a model, it's you might end up with a 20-minute video, but it takes you a damn sight longer than 20 minutes to produce that.
Oh yeah,
and it is a chore. Well, no, wrong word. It is hard work, and
it's not work if you enjoy what you do, but it takes time and effort to do it.
Yeah, but a lot of the stuff you have to do isn't the enjoyable side of railway modelling, because you've got to get rollover shots. You've got to get photos from all angles. If you saw the steps that I have to go to like light up inside a cab, to photograph it under magnification through the cab window and get everything, it's a lot of painstaking effort to get these almost like throwaway half-a-second shot to illustrate something you're talking about. And that is a lot of work. You've then got to edit it up. And, if you ever see the edit files, there can be like 4 or 5 different things getting edited in at the same time and different effects to get that video, that the idea being that the video just flows and doesn't jar to the person watching, that they get all the information. So in that respect, it is very much like a full-time job.
I mean, so the Manchester stuff I filmed for the entire weekend, I came away with 86 gig of footage. And that was just mine, and I had Paul from N-Trains there as well. He had another 30 gig.
Yeah.
And in total, I think there was something like 160 hours worth of footage over the weekend, and managed to condense that down into the longest video was 1 hour and 20, which was everything chronologically as it happened. And I've got 2 external hard drives that are just full of raw material.
Yeah.
I was thinking about mashing it all together for the end of year video, but to be honest, end of year videos are being done to death by everybody now. It's just doesn't seem something I really want to do.
Yeah, I did an end of year video last year when it was a bit of a novelty, but like you say, everybody kind of, if something works, there becomes a bandwagon and everybody's trying to pile on it.
Oh yeah, there's just tons. Paul Power says, what software do you use to edit your clips? And you use the same one I do. You use iMovie, don't you?
Yes.
I am tempted to pay for Final Cut Pro, but I'm going to wait and see.
I think the trouble with that is you can't actually buy it, you have to rent it. It's like the, like Photoshop is the same.
No.
Or can you actually
you can buy Final Cut Pro.
So I know with the Adobe software, they've now gone on to like a monthly subscription model, which in some respects you can understand because people were pirating that to high heaven. But in the other, it's a bit annoying that you have to kind of subscribe to be able to use it. The moment you let your subscription lapse, it's not like you've got an out-of-date version of the software, you just don't have the software.
I know Adobe normally do a January sale where it's half price if you sign up to a year in January.
Oh right, it's worth knowing.
So it might be worth keeping out. Barnabas Junction says, has Jenny let that your Reaver Trains Whale stock have a run yet?
Well, yeah, it's going around in the background. I don't. Can you?
You can't. Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
You can't see the back lane though because we're blocking the view. Mark Singleton asked me what's my day job. Rather boring actually. I used to work for Stagecoach, so working with rail as one of the owning companies.
Right.
And I'm what they call an information security manager.
What does that mean?
That is anything to do with GDPR and online protection and things like that.
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm still none the wiser. I know GDPR is the basic Data Protection Act.
That's the one. General data.
You wouldn't mind passing them crisps over?
I certainly can do.
Would you like a pack?
No, I'm sticking with my gingerbread.
You finish them off. I'm going. Look at this. It's like being in a pub, isn't it? Whenever you went into a pub, there'd always be a stack of these and the where's the other ones? And the scampi fries. I remember these as a kid as well. Ooh. Which should I go? Scampi or bacon? Do I feel my left ventricle slam shut or my right ventricle? Let's go scampi. Christopher Coy says, Jennifer Kirk, what camera do you use? Is it being filmed on an iPhone 6? Is it a 6 or a 6S?
It's a 6S.
Is it a 6S? It's my phone and I really don't know. I'm a bit of a techno Luddite.
I'm shocking to say, you're the guy who says no you can't. I try to say the other way around. You can, but that's how I
do it this way and we won't get sued out of existence.
John says a day to put a Eurostar on a trap. I would do if I had one, but I don't. I am tempted to change the 158 though for the 156. I might swap that out.
Yeah, sure. You can double head them if you want.
I can't. The connectors don't work.
You could just have one following the other very closely.
Which is something that really annoyed me.
Does it?
Yeah, so the new one came out with a different coupler, but still doesn't have the coupler to connect to prototypical running, so you couldn't connect it to a 156 without modifications, which is really annoying. I thought it to be something that they actually fix, but clearly not.
So do they run in multiple an awful lot?
Yeah. East Midlands Rail. I know I'm off camera because I'm swapping. Can we just stop the 158?
Yeah, sure. Which number was it?
That one. 1523.
Right, I'll bring it around to somewhere that you can get your hands on it. If I bring it, park it round there.
Yeah, that'll do. Bingo.
There we are.
Jason says he had 3 Class 158s. Yes,
Oh,
I've
good
now
call.
got 5 in total. With all being well, another 2 to join me.
Oh, Huntsley from Other Roses. They were on a card that would reveal a half-naked woman when all the prize was sold to encourage you to buy more packs. I vaguely remember that, even though I was quite young.
I grew up in a pub, so I kept most of the cards.
Did you?
Yep.
Angus's Trains. Have you watched my video? Yes, the train's running in black and white. I did watch that earlier on today. One thing I would say though is I don't like loud music over trains running videos, but that's just my personal preference. But I did watch it, so.
So that is.
Let's have a look. John A. Dawson, David Jenny, what is your thoughts on the new ESU Locksound version 5 chips versus the ESU Locksound version 4? Is it worth upgrading?
I have no idea.
Neither have I. I would have thought if you've already got Locksound 4, it would be a very expensive upgrade to change them for Locksound 5. I'm not sure whether what it would give you is worth the extra cost. Because that's a big expensive upgrade to change one down chip for another.
Right. Sorry, there was a comment on there I wanted to answer.
Did you bring any tubs? What's a tub? Is that a 60?
No. Yes, sorry, yes, a tug is a 60. I didn't. So I say no, I didn't bring a tug, sorry. I'm just moving forward the 156. Which I didn't rail properly because I'm special. Yeah, no, Darren, I won't convert Jenny, but at least it gives people something to look at that's more than just boxes with windows. Christopher Kosh says, what controller are you using, DCC or standard DC? I am using DCC and I have the Z21.
Angus's Train says, I thought it was clever. Each to their own. I'm not a fan, but other people are, so don't take from that whatever you will.
What I will say, Angus, as a tip, if you do overlay music, drop the volume to about 20% of the original one, and you get a lot less harsh reaction, if you will. And I don't mean that to be critical, it's just how I found from doing that same thing myself. I think we're running with the 156.
David Watts says, Era 3 kettles rule. Sorry, don't apologise. Because, let's see, Era 3, what have we got cooking up here? I'm trying to find one now. Ooh, all I can suddenly find now is my pre-grouping.
Yeah. Anthony Dodd says, once you get up to Locksound chips or Zim or even Lens, they're all very good quality. It becomes a preference. I must admit, I mean, I was saying to you earlier, I'm changing mine from Hornby and Batman chips to the Z21 Black? Not Z21 Black, the Zimo.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do with all your old chips?
I'm probably going to sell them, if I'm honest.
How much are you going to sell them for?
I don't know, because some of them are used, aren't they? I'll see what I can reuse. I'm also thinking about trying to use them for lighting, that's it. I was trying to think of the word there. But no lights running on that one. Let's see. Let's speed it up.
No lights on. Press F0 at the bottom.
I did.
Again? Is it supposed to be light?
Yeah, it does have lights.
Try F1. Yeah, they've just come on.
There we go. I'm happy now that lights are running.
Yeah. Actually, did you find on your bubble car the number of different options for lighting was actually quite staggering?
Yes, and same with having. It wasn't. So they recommended the Dapple chip in the Imperium 3, was it?
Yes.
But
did
I ended
you
up.
use one or did you use something else?
No, I ended up with a standard Batman one, so I need to swap that out because I have.
Yeah, I used the Happens chip, and it didn't work all the lighting functions. So I had a Dapple Imperium chip in a locomotive that didn't need it. so I swapped the Atlas chip and actually functioned well. So I don't know whether the data here is slightly standard or whether it's just most of the other stuff on the market.
Yeah, Berry 120, you've got a good point. So for sound, the quality of the speaker actually is more crucial, because it's the speaker that gives you the quality you're looking for.
Well, there's a lot of people say having the main speakers is the way to go, and I tend to, my experience with sound systems, effectively your speakers were far more important than the amplifier that was driving it. Yes, the amplifier does affect it, but you know, if you had an all singing, all dancing amplifier and crap speakers, it's going to sound crap. Whereas if you have a crappy amp but really good speakers, it's actually still going to sound reasonable.
We are buffering heavily at the moment.
I can only conclude that there's a lot of other people online at the moment, being like holiday time. So there's a lot of people on holiday and they're probably saturating the bandwidth watching Netflix and spoofs.
We're still connected at this end. We'll see if it
Sam Shackleton
itself
says,
out. If not in a minute, we may have to sort it.
Mac Maz 2 with great folks worked for me. Berry 120 also says seems to have recovered a bit now.
Unfortunately, it's just...
Oh, the Growler Blackwood N-Gauge layout. First steam loco arrived on Blackwood N-Gauge layout, courtesy of Santa Claus, a pannier tank in NCB livery. Good call. In fact, I suspect that is, let me just pluck it from the O-Gauge diorama. Would I be right in thinking that basically you've got a much smaller version of this locomotive going on?
Which, in all fairness, is nothing more than duck.
Really? Yeah, I suppose it is.
That's duck.
Kind of. But no, duck was in Great Western.
It's the same thing, just a different livery.
No, Great Western's like a Brunswick green. That's more of a lime green. Well, I've taken it off the track now and I can't see to get it back on.
Yeah, Hulk and kids next door on their PlayStations. I say that, my son has a new Xbox. I've just upped my internet speed.
What speed are you on now?
We're now on the 200 meg package.
Does it make a lot of difference?
It's about probably about another 50 meg in download speed anyway. Upload speed, I haven't really noticed.
We're on 80 megs, and to be honest with you, it's utter garbage. And we get so many problems. As time's gone on, when we first got it, it was marvellous. But I get the impression that if you've been a customer for a couple of years, they kind of stiff you at every level. So I think we need to shop around now. Well, we're notionally on 80 megs. But
Paul said we need to get a Wi-Fi booster. So unfortunately, Paul, it's not the Wi-Fi that's the issue.
No.
It's when you're on, there's too many people on the internet, on the node, on the network, it slows it right down. So that's why we swapped to mobile data.
Yeah. I do have a Wi-Fi booster, and it's literally at the bottom of these stairs. So we were getting a full bar signal on Wi-Fi, but it was the actual connection to the outside world that was causing the issue.
Yeah, exactly, Kelly. That's what I just mentioned. Then it is, and for me, it's really annoying because I moved across the road from my previous property, and that's put me on a different node. So
in a good or a bad way?
In a bad way.
Oh, so you're basically now on the same node as all the people who spend all their time downloading porn.
Yeah, on the previous node there was only a small selection on there because it was right next to the railway line. And now across the road it's with everybody else on a bigger node. It's just...
Can't you pay extra to be on a different contention rate? You basically get a connection to yourself that you pay extra for the privilege of?
No. I think you can pay to get it moved, but I originally got a quote to move some of the cables, and it was like £1,000 they wanted, and I was just like, no thanks, sorry, I'm not paying that.
No.
Yeah, it is the upload speed for streaming, but you know, my videos, for example, I upload at work because they have like 200 meg upload, so it's just dumb.
The bigger ones we have to leave overnight.
Yeah, that's normally the way. What else have we got? So we swapped The 67's still running. We swapped the. I wonder if actually we put the 67. Should we try the 67 DVT first? So that was 6, 7. No, pressing different functions there. Press low fail.
Yeah.
6703. And then if I swap direction,
Will it not be prone to derailing?
that's what I want to find out. Yeah, you're right, Kelly, they are. And I think that's where they get you, really. What else have we got on there? Anthony Straff. Hello, Smashmore. We seem to be running DVT forward, okay. What else have we got? Have you got the 47 you wanted, Jeb?
Oh no.
Paul Higgins.
No, not yet. 47s at the moment. It's not a good choice of liveries available. I've had a hunt around, and you can get it in a Reaver livery, like an older Reaver livery, which you didn't want. Royal Train liveries, but like the EWS Royal Train liveries, which you don't want. And it may even have been EWS, which you don't want. And the only Rail Blue one is 47001, I think it was, but it's with sound, so it's like over 200 quid, which I don't want to spend on a 47. So at the moment, I'm waiting to see what starts to trickle through in the new year. But also there's been a bit of an accounting glitch with Google, so everything that the channel sent in the last week and a bit, we're still waiting for. So the money hasn't actually come through as of yet through Google. So at the moment, just waiting on a little bit. What I might do is in the new year, actually go over to Rails and see if I can have a frisk through their second-hand stuff again, and just see what I can find.
What have we got? Are either of us into narrow gauge in any way? Will you be getting any 009 stuff? I do like narrow gauge, but I struggle to think what I do with it.
I am actually considering building a diorama, like a standalone layout, and I'm particularly impressed by the stuff that Pico's doing. I think it's been made for them by Cato.
Yeah. But
they're doing the Festinio double fairlies, and they do take my fancy.
Matt says, have you looked on Fleabag?
I've not had much luck with eBay. I tend to find stuff tends to be very overpriced, and when I bid for something, suddenly the world and its wife wants to bid on it as well, and I get people just trying to shill me.
Yeah, like saying to you earlier, there is a Reaver Trains Wales Class 158 that has been listed now 4 times and still hasn't sold.
What, even though every time you get picked by another bidder?
Well, no, it's the same seller that hasn't sold it and keeps relisting it. And they're asking for $124.99 for this unit. I put in a bid of £100, which I think is fair for it, and he rejected it. So I thought, all right, then I'll up it to 110, and that's about it. I'm not, because that's how I've gone. Now I will pay up to a certain amount.
Yeah.
And rejected it, and it's been relisted now 3 times. And I'm like, you could have quite easily sold it ages ago, but fair enough.
So he's not got the message that actually it's not worth what he's asking.
No. Well, thanks to Batman releasing their new 158, I have 2 more regional railways Class 158s on the way to me, and I paid a total sum of £80 for those.
For how many?
For 2 of them.
Are these the older versions that you have to
Yeah, they're the older ones, so people have obviously got the newer ones and sold the old ones off. So I got those.
A lot of people seem to get unnaturally frightened of hardwiring older models that weren't necessarily DCC ready, but I've actually found in a lot of cases it's easier than trying to find space for the chip where they do put the socket, because I found with, for example, the Hornby M7, it's DCC ready, but there's barely enough room for the blanking plate, let alone an entire chip. So where the actual socket is, there's no way that you can actually use that socket to chip it. It's a waste of time. So if it wasn't DCC ready, it would arguably be easier. It'll be alright.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that didn't die off.
I normally tickle the control key every once in a while because it's non-printing, you see, so it doesn't tend to do anything.
There you go.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. The problem that one seller puts something at a price, another says I don't like some of that and competes upwards instead of down. It's kind of why I've got 4 sellers that I consistently use on eBay, and as a rule, if it doesn't come up through them, I won't buy it.
I used to buy a lot through eBay, and I'm of an age where I remember when eBay started, and it would have been very late 1990s. I can remember. I didn't buy anything through it, but I had a friend at university. She collected My Little Ponies, and she said, "Oh, it's great because rather than having to go and hunt through junk shops and probably not find anything, from the comfort of your computer, you can effectively check the world for these things." And she was able to complete her collection in this way. And I can remember buying stuff, and back then I likened it to a bit like a car boot sale. People just wanted rid of stuff and they didn't want to throw it away. So you could get some really great bargains, and there was a lot of great stuff on eBay. But now there's a lot of people who, I just call them gougers and scammers. And there just seems to be a lot of cheap knockoff rubbish on eBay. And it always annoys me when you do a search for something and you get all the stuff that has nothing to do with what you're searching for, but they've spammed the keywords. So I buy very little off eBay of late. And the last thing I bought off eBay was when I did a review of the Lace PCC decoder chips.
Yeah.
And I bought 3 of them off eBay. And that's it. And that's like the only things I bought off eBay on my account for like the last 4 or 5 years.
Anthony Smashmore says, I have 2 Batman 158s hardwired, both of them working brilliantly. Told you, units are amazing, mate, on your layout, especially. Paul Higgins asks, what's the largest radius curves you can get so I can close couple my Tornado, which is radius 4. But then again, I think someone, Ham Shackleton says, use Flexi and just get a track setter.
If you use Flexi Track, you can keep going and keep going. You can have the most gentle curves. If you've got the space for it on your railway, you can have amazingly gentle curves. And actually, I personally prefer Flexi Track for everything. This whole layout up here is built using Flexi Track. And you can actually get tighter than Radius 1 using Flexi Track as well. If you've got locos in stock that will take it, you can do some really incredible tight little industrial yards by bending Flexi Track down to like super tight radius.
Combat Money says, are you allowed to have PayPal links? Is that a better way for getting donations?
What, to the live stream?
Yeah. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. People do it. Because I know YouTube from Super Chats, they take on average about 40 to 50%. And it's a sliding scale downwards, isn't it, from your first one? Whereas if you do PayPal donations, it goes straight through.
Sorry, back that trainer. So, all the stuff... Did you watch my live stream last
I did.
And people very generously donated, I think it got it to just under £150
Yep.
a stream. So you're saying that...
You won't get £150.
Well, I guessed that much, but how much are they taking off?
From when I was getting ones that were like £5, I was getting £2.40 back.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that. So actually I should be telling people don't use it because you're basically lining Google's pockets.
Kelly, if you use your paypal.me link, they don't take anything from it if it's friends and family.
Is there any danger in just giving out your effectively email address that's connected to your PayPal account?
That's why I don't do that. You can get a paypal.me link.
And where would you get that from?
It's in your PayPal account.
You're talking to Techno Luddite.
I'll tell the cupboard monkey when she's feeling a bit better.
Yeah, that would be because I hadn't realised that that's very greedy of them, isn't it? Taking that much.
If you want MGRs, I think you have to use eBay. Managed to pick up £15 to £17 each. I think it's reasonable. For the later ones with known couplings, yeah, that isn't actually a bad price for MGR wagons. It's not bad, that. I suppose though the price of wagons at the minute is shooting straight up as well. Seems to be slightly excessive. There was another one.
Actually, MGR. When people talk about MGRs, they're actually talking about HAA wagons usually, aren't they?
Yeah.
One of the places actually that you might find joy if you're looking to pick up a rake of MGRs of HAA wagons is some of the smaller model shops that don't necessarily have fast-moving stock, because they might actually have some of the older releases of the decent HAA wagons still in stock.
MatMaz is a good tip for flexi-track curves.
Hmm?
So if there's going to be a join mid-rail, then solder them together first and you can curve as one. It's actually a really good...
It does work. One of the other things as well that I sometimes do is, and it's actually the only thing that I will use set track curves for, is you will get a set track curve, turn it upside down and mesh it into the track across the join. So it then braces the join from kinking when you curve it. You can actually do it as well, but if you've got a spare length of flexi track, you can just push that across and that just stops the kink from appearing at the rail joins.
Stephen says YouTube takes 30%, PayPal is 2%. It feels like YouTube's more than that.
And it sounds like 30% is pretty steep. How can they justify that? Because they Google, they do whatever the hell they want. So if you don't like it, you can go elsewhere. I'll have to remember that. So in future, if people want to send a donation, maybe we should sort out what it was. You said the PayPal.
Yeah, you can do a PayPal.me link.
And where would you actually post that? You just like dump it into the comments from time to time.
I've seen people do it in the comments. You get there's a few ones you can get as an automated thing that publish it. People put it in the description. There's loads of different ways you can do it.
Right. Because I'm a bit of a virgin to this super chat and making money out of YouTube thing. It just kind of crept up on me over the last few years. So I'm just winging it.
That's basically how I do it.
Do you get quite a bit then, if you don't mind me asking?
No, I don't go. For me, I don't. I'm always grateful when I get it, but I don't expect it. Is probably what I'm trying to say.
That's pretty much how I work.
Yeah.
I always said to people, I was going to do these videos anyway, so it's not like I'm doing them fishing for money. I've seen some people do videos where it's like gimme, gimme, gimme all the way through, and you think, no.
Carl Brook says, if you haven't already covered it, which one engine or item of rolling stock are you hoping will be announced in the new year?
I really want to see a Hunslet Austerity announced in Manchester Ship Canal Grey. That would be the re-livery that I'd want to see. And in terms of all new locomotive, I really want to see a Class 2 diesel shunter. Which I think it's inevitable that the Class 1, Class 2 and Class 6 will eventually come in a highly detailed form. I'm guessing Helgens are more likely, but Hornby have shown with their W4 Peckett and their Sentinel, four-wheel Sentinels, that a small, short, four-wheel-base locomotive is perfectly viable. I guess they're actually probably more likely to release the Class 6 first, because historically there was a facsimile of a Class 6 in their railroad range for an awfully long time. It didn't look a huge amount like a Class 6 because it was on their pocket rocket chassis. But I would suspect that maybe Class 6 is one that they would do.
How Conjunction, did I pronounce that right this time? Says, where did you get the new Batman 158 from? I didn't. It's not new. It's the old one. I'm not buying a new Batman 158.
How much? Why, are they very expensive?
They're about 230 at the minute. I think that's for sound though. And they're fantastic models. I'm just not going to buy a model at that price to then have to get it resprayed because they don't have the licenses to do it. So.
Actually, just as an interjection, I'm watching your Arriva trains with the 67 going round effectively backwards, and it's running exceptionally well.
Yeah. I've added a little bit of weight in the DVT, which helps.
Yeah, but, I
Um,
mean the coaches, they're the older coaches, aren't they? Because they've
Yeah.
got the big goalpost couplings, and actually, they look pretty good.
I just need another one.
But no, I mean,
Um,
in terms of detail level, I'm surprised. Normally, for me, if it's got the big fat couplings, I steer clear of them like the plague. But they're actually really, you wouldn't know that they were older models looking at them trundle around. I'm not going to rush out and buy them, but I am impressed.
Ben says, will I be going to the Hornby 2020 range? We've can't really speak about that.
When you say going to, what do you mean to like an event?
I guess for I'm sure they're doing something on the 6th. I won't be going. I know a few bits that are in there, but
What is this down actually?
a Batman 158 with sound is actually 297 RRP.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So are they
I
actually
don't-
having an event at Margate?
No idea. I know they did a press one. That was about 3 weeks ago. But yeah, I wouldn't know. To be honest.
I know they did one last year because they had a lot of retailers went, and I'm hoping to see whether they're doing one this year. Because if they are, then I'm hoping
I guess,
to
yeah.
go.
Kelly says that there is one in Margate on the 6th.
Are you
Probably.
sure about that?
I do think.
Because I've been told if they have one, I've got an invite to it, but I've heard nothing. So I don't know whether they've quietly dropped me off the list.
To be honest,
Would you go?
no.
Why not?
All that way. No.
They'll put you up in a hotel.
No, I don't do it for that sort of stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, it'd be nice to get there and see it, but I much prefer, like we did. So we did last year when Hornby and Batman did their catalogues. There was a few of us that got on and did a train talk and discussed what they were and got people's
'cause
opinions.
When Batman announced theirs, I did a live stream.
Yeah.
Following the announcement.
I really enjoy doing that rather than going to their events, and that's not a slight on any of the people that sort out the events or go to them. I prefer laziness to sit at home and talk with friends about it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see just sort of being sat up here, going through the announcements and being able to talk to people would be kind of nice. But I think I'd certainly go down to visit Hornby at least once just to say I've been there.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going down, definitely. Kelly says Batman haven't made an announcement yet. Will we?
I thought that their announcements come on like the 16th of February or something.
Something like that, but yeah, they are getting
And I'm
blasted
guessing
everywhere.
they're not going to announce anything early because they want the Thunder to be on their big announcement day. But it'd be interesting to see what they will announce based on what they will by then know that Hornby has announced. I wonder whether it will change anything.
Possibly, but I mean, Kelly's just put in there actually something I'd be really interested in. Batman developing the EFE Underground range would be good. Quite a lot of people that follow me know I have a real soft spot for the Tube.
Yeah.
I always have done.
So does that mean, have you got the Helgen Metropolitan Bobos?
Nope.
Did they not? That too early for you?
Way too early.
Right.
I must admit, I do like the brand new stock that's coming in. The S stock and some of the D stock stuff as well. I really love those. Sorry. One of my things to do is a diorama underground type scene.
That's actually
But then-
one that Zoe wants retail build.
But then Talon kind of came out and did his and completely ruined it because
Oh, I've seen that.
his skills is way far and above mine.
Oh, is
and
he the
just
guy who
smashed it
did
out the park.
the subway station?
Yeah, that's it.
But that was just the station. It's not like the complete cutaway from street level down.
Oh, yeah, I still couldn't manage anywhere near that.
See, what I want to do, and what Zoe wants to do, is do it as if it's like a cross section. So you've got the street level buildings and the whole street scene going on, but then like a cut through and you've got the subway, but then maybe even a deeper level tube train underneath that.
Yeah. That would be a very tall one. But it would be good to see, especially if you can motorise the lifts. Like Graham at Lakeside has done. So he's got in his station, he has a motorised lift that he's
Right.
built himself.
And does that just go between street level and the platform?
Yeah, it just goes up and down, but he's completely made it from scratch. So it's got like people and lights and stuff, and
Right.
the thing goes up and down. Robert Scott's joined. Hello, Robert Scott.
Hi to you. It's always good to have everybody. Well, don't forget to tickle that like button, and if you're not already subscribed, then do check out and tickle that subscribe button, and you'll be the first to know about new videos as and when they come up. And we've got a lot going on this channel. So don't forget as well, coming up, this will be the final video. Yeah, actually, because New Year's Day is actually January the 1st, so this is the final video for 2019. So I guess we should sort of look.
I was going to say, yeah, that is a good one for the chat, actually. What is people's highlights of 2019?
Yeah, and in particular, I'm just curious, those of you who've been following my channel, are there any videos that you particularly liked and you might want to see more of next year? Conversely, are there any videos you think that was utter garbage, don't do that again?
William Cowley says hello. I know for me, I suppose there were two things that I really enjoyed this year. The Great Electric Train Show.
Is that the one at Milton Keynes?
It is.
Right. I wanted to do that, but I just couldn't get there.
Hornby Magazine and Model Rail Network, the group we run, did a meet there, and there was that many people. Security got called because we were blocking things. No, that's
is that a good or a bad thing?
No, it was an amazing thing, and me and Richard were both blown away. North was there as well. We actually got kicked out that night, as a side story, but that was that was an amazing event. On a personal thing, this year, going back to building a depot, I quite enjoyed.
Did you have a layout before that?
Yeah, so I had a loop around the shed, and then I got asked would I like to exhibit again. And I said, well, yeah, okay, but I've not got space in my shed. So I took the loop down and then went back to the TMD's depot stuff.
Right, so had you had an exhibition layout before?
I built one and sold it on. It's now Gooley Lane TMD. It's Lee this year.
Oh, right.
So
because Lee's one that I've exhibited at a few times.
I was there. What else?
So were you actually exhibiting when I was exhibiting?
No, it's Stuart. Oh, I can't remember Stuart's surname, so I'm really sorry. He's going to shout. Stuart Bailey. There we go.
So it's not going to shout.
Yeah, he bought it off me. So yeah.
I don't know what it's catching round there. There's like a weird noise when it goes round.
As long as it doesn't derail it, it'll be fine.
It's not derailing, I'm just curious what it is. It sounds like it's hitting the ballast.
So go on, what was your favourite?
My favourite? My favourite event? I liked Alexandra Palace. It was the first time that I'd ever been. And I guess it was the point when I realised that actually my YouTube channel had kind of reached that point where I was getting recognised a lot. I was invited to Alexandra Palace to do the interviews that they do with various people on the MRC stand, and when I was walking around the place, people just kept coming up to me and "Oh, Jennifer Kirk, it's really great to meet you. We'd love to do a YouTube channel." And it was the first point where it was like, "Wow, people are actually watching this." And it was a great feeling to feel appreciated in that way. And I did, it was when I started working with some of the manufacturers as well. So I got to meet Fran at Acura Scale for the first time, and we kind of chatted a bit. And also Simon Kohler as well, and Ian Pritchard at Bachmann, and then Hattons as well. I was a frequent customer of Hattons, but never really spoken to anybody there. And I was looking at some of their stuff on the Hattons stand, and I think it was Dave came up to me. It's normally safe with Hattons to say somebody called Dave.
Yeah, someone will.
Yeah, there was a Dave involved. He came up and he said, "Oh, it's Jennifer Kirk, isn't it? Can we interview you?" So I did an interview for Hattons. And that then led to them inviting me to do other stuff with them as well, which was great. And then I went on and did GMRC. So this year has been amazing. Got to work with Hornby as well, doing did that Christmas diorama build. That was good fun. And also I did the National Railway Museum, the press event for the D class.
That was with rails, that wasn't it?
That was with rails, but it's actually Daypole that's doing the model. But when I was there, I just felt absolutely humbled that the managing director of the museums group that National Railway Museum is part of made a beeline over to me and went, "Oh, Jennifer Kirk, I watch your videos, it's so nice to finally meet you." And it's like my brain was just like, I couldn't believe that somebody like that important knew who the hell I was. And that started a relationship of doing some work with rails. There were a few YouTubers there though, I wasn't the only one.
I've not been to Valley Collie.
No, the National Railway Museum.
Oh, no, I didn't go to that one.
Did you get invited?
No. I've never really... I've done some work with Dapol. They invited me down to Alsager.
Right.
So I did some work with them. Because I met Neil at the Modern Image Gauge event where they released the 66.
Right.
But it's not something I've really looked into or tried to sort of push my way into. I feel if people want to,
See,
they know how to get hold of me.
With me, it was I got a lot of introductions. It was Lawrence Robbins at Alexandra Palace who just kind of took me to one side and said, "We need to introduce you to various people." He just seems to know everybody. So he introduced me to Simon Kohler, he introduced me to Ian Pritchard, he introduced me to Fran at Acura Scale, and he introduced me as well to John Barber at Rails. So, chatted a little bit, and that's when I got the exclusive review of the pre-production model of the Rails Terrier. And after that, it's kind of just bubbled away and built up. And what I found was, once the first manufacturer came to me and said, "We'll send you some review stuff," it almost like it opened the floodgate. Once one does it, they all do it.
Yeah.
And it's like they're just waiting for somebody to go, "Okay, this person will work with them." And I'm guessing that Richard at New Junction maybe found the same.
I suppose he's different now. His day job is
I
Model Railways,
suppose-
isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. So he has a different immersion into the industry. I'm very much an outsider. I don't have any commercial involvement at all within the industry. I've been writing magazine articles for years, but very much on the periphery. I guess the closest you could call me is a staff writer for Modern Magazinette in Sweden, and that's as close as it gets to working in the industry.
I just like making really annoying videos.
McBen Man 1 says, "Hi Jenny, how is Silver Lady? Will she be going to the NRM? Also say good job on the others that also did the biggest little railway, and good job to you." Thank you very much. Silver Lady actually resides at Roundhouse Engineering. She's in a case, as far as I'm aware. When you go into Roundhouse Engineering in Doncaster, one of the things that you'll see in that room is Silver Lady when she's not out elsewhere. We pretty much killed the model, I have to say. She really was rolled on Ben Nevis that many times because she'd fall off the track, and on one occasion she did roll off down the hill because it was quite steep. So they had to chase after her. So she's very bashed up and bruised. And one of the things which it doesn't show you in the TV series was that there was backup Silver Ladies. There wasn't just one. There were 2 complete locomotives, and there was also enough spare parts to build something like another 4 locomotives, just like big components. And at the end of the filming, they had used both Silver Ladies to death, and they used up their supply of spare parts. So effectively it's like something like 6 Silver Ladies has become this one very beaten up model. Now the one that you see a lot on screen, the kind of screen model, is principally the one which, oh my word, oh thank you very much to Wardle Road, just donated £1.99 on the super chat. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated, so thank you for that.
I do my TTS special phone on my 60, but I didn't bring it. I should have brought it.
Hold on, what have I got? Is there a I don't, hold on.
Oh, hello Sparky, to see you've joined. Sorry I'm catching up with the chat.
Always good to see Sparky 107. Good to see you. I've seen you've been doing a lot of work on your shed, getting the walls and the ceiling in.
Robert Scott says he found the show's whole thing very intimidating. Do you know, I must admit...
Sorry, that was...
There we go.
There we
Should we do it again, just in case no one heard it? There you go. You get a special one.
That's the special one. I'm going to move that up there so it's near to the microphone.
I must admit, I did feel that slightly at Wally. It felt very closed in this year.
I didn't actually get to see any of the layouts at Wally. Ben Man one says, also, how do I paint the nameplates on Silver Lady? They were etched brass nameplates. I'm not sure where they came from, but the two actual Silver Ladies that we used, the complete models, both had etched brass nameplates applied. I don't think there were any spares, because actually if you look closely, she loses one of her nameplates at one point. God knows what happened to it.
Agnes's train says, bye Jenny.
Where's that?
2105, just above that bit that you've just seen. It's just flown past.
Oh, they where have we got?
There.
Oh, Angus's trains. You heading off. Always good to have you in the chat, Angus. Hopefully we'll see you again next week. You take really good care. Oh my word.
Oh, and apparently you got to give this $1.99 to me.
Okay, we can do that.
Thanks.
Well, look, thank you for... Oh, hold on.
Although I was going to do a stream tomorrow, so thanks for that. Wally should look at opening up the extra space, especially there with the growth of attendees. Yeah,
but you pay by the square foot for the NEC, and that's the trade-off.
That's what gets you.
Yeah. And it's very expensive actually to hold an event at the NEC.
Which is exactly what Kelly's just come in and commented and said. Yeah, and Rich just put, yeah, for my point motor appeal. Thanks.
Your point motor appeal? Do you need point motors?
No, it was because I was hand changing points.
Oh, well, no, if you hold
I have point motors. I've just not fitted them. What else was there?
There you are. Screen used from GMRC.
You should sign it and it's worth more.
Hey, screen used on GMRC. It's even still got plaster from when it's been sat around. Unused from the build. Is this, are these the ones you use?
No. Thank you for the offer. No, I use MP5 point motors. So they work off all different gauges and stuff.
Right.
But they're,
I swear by the Pico PLTs.
Quick slip. I don't even know the phrase. They come apart. If I show you a picture.
Why would you want them to come apart?
So if you split boards,
okay,
and you have your point control here and a point motor there, you can just unplug the cable as you take the boards apart.
Oh yeah, but you can do that with these. They've got spade connectors that you can use if you buy the wiring loom from Pico. Or you can just have a set of pluggable shock blocks where it goes across the baseboard.
Thanks, Mark. Mark says, I love Model Rail Network, such a helpful source of people if you have issues or need ideas. Thank you. That's what all the groups are for. Thank you very much, Mark.
Manchester Model Roses, that's 8 boxes of ginger bread matchmakers. Have you been out on a big spend?
No, I think he's saying for the super chat that gets us 8.
Oh, right. Well, we got 3 in.
Yeah, you're right, Richard. There's definitely money there to be spent, but it comes down to how much they've invested or plan to invest.
Ben Man 1 says, hi Jenny, do you know where I could get a whistle for Silver Lady? Also, what was the blue box you held up? Oh, that was a Pico PL10E point motor. So it's just simply one of the clip-on point motors for underneath Pico points.
Somerset Andy says he's got to go now. Thanks for that. Drop me an email, Jenny, and I'll send you the Batman Class 47 and Intercity delivery. Bye for now.
Oh wow!
I think if you get in touch with Jenny, then if you go to her About page, there's an email address there, and then you can reply to Somerset Andy accordingly. That's probably the best way.
What did he say?
There he is.
Thanks for that, Jenny. Drop me an email and send you the back. Oh my word, that's incredibly generous of you. Oh, thank you. The best way to, because I'm not sure how I'd be able to contact people directly.
No, that's fine. And if they go to your About on your channel and
Yeah.
then contact you through that email address, that'll be a lot easier.
What on my YouTube? Where
Yep.
does that actually go to?
So if you go to the YouTube and then you hit About, there you go, and contact you through there.
Yeah,
And it'll go to wherever you set it up to.
you might have to hunt through that website. It's due to be revamped, but yeah, I'll toot to that.
New Mills Model Railway. Any tips on building baseballs? That's my next task. And first fair to building a layout. Last one was built for me. Did want a viaduct and measuring, etc. accurately worries me. Simple rule is measure twice, cut once.
Yeah, to be honest, actually measure 3 times. You'd be surprised how much things move in between measuring them.
And if I'm honest, I mean, I know I've just bought mine, so I've gone to Tim Hornboards. You can't get any better than Tim.
I built all these. I use 6mm ply and tuber 2 and tuber 1 battens. This entire room is custom made out of the woodyard around the corner.
Oh, don't get me wrong, my loft one I will build myself, but for going out and about, Tim Hornboards are just.
I built Grove Street Yard is completely built myself out of 6mm ply with I think I used 1x1 battens for strengthening that. And it's actually incredibly light. You can pick it up under one arm and just carry it one person. It always amazes people when I come to set up at exhibitions because I just wander in with it under my arm going, right, where do you want me? But McBen Man 1, Whistle for Silver Lady. I would suggest contact Roundhouse Engineering because they're the original manufacturers for the Silver Lady model. I don't know an awful lot about the models, so that's probably your best port of call and they'll be able to advise you. Humpty from other relatives, I use the old battens off my roof. What's holding your roof up? There's a lot of wood up here, it doesn't need all this.
Oh, say that again. Show us a picture of your point motor, David. Is that an innuendo? Let me hide the chat and I will.
Oh, matron.
What I'll do is I'll actually put a link in.
Litchfield Central says, what glue do you use to stick back seams to wood? This is something you've done on yours, isn't it?
I have. I use double-sided sticky tape to hold as an anchor along the edge, and then just plain PVA. But it's.
Do you not find it wrinkles?
No, mine hasn't, because I've got. Don't forget, I've got the double-sided tape each at intervals all the way along, so that's an anchor
so that
point.
stops it from.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. You can also get spray mount. Don't breathe it. It's horrible stuff.
I did find that Charlie at Chadwick struggled with his using different sprays. Right. I don't know if you can see that's mine.
Oh, I see.
So it's an MTB MP5 point motor.
It looks like the same kind of plugs that cars use, auto electrics.
That is what I will put in the chat now. Those are the point motors I have. Now if I go back to YouTube.
Oh, D827 Kelly's also got the same baseboards as you. Melchester Model Railway says using Evo Stick spray glue. I think that's what the same stuff that's known by other retailers and manufacturers as spray mount. The only thing you've got to be careful about that is certainly the good old-fashioned stuff I can remember using in the 80s was the stuff was lethal if you breathed it in. So you coat your lungs with glue.
Yeah. How have you found his boards, Kelly? Because I know I've got it purely because Marcus at Gallatin Parkway has it.
Oh, Humpty from Other Rows says old battens from when we had the house roof renewed. It's always good to recycle stuff. forget about Greta Thunberg and that, and all this sort of sudden new movement to like be at one with the environment. But I've got Yorkshire roots, and if you can reuse something rather than buying new, I'm well in there, and it gives me a nice warm glowing feeling that I'm saving my pocket money. So it's always good if you've got materials hanging about that come off something else that would otherwise just go in the bin, and you can find a use for them, then that is perfect railway modelling actually.
Broughton MCR says I use a little wallpaper roller to get rid of any wrinkles that happen to appear. Yeah, I used a...
that is a good idea actually.
I used a tea towel.
So you just sort of slide it along?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had my pinch points for the double-sided tape and then pushed it along with the tea towel.
That is actually a really good idea. But wallpaper paste is probably a good...
Wallpaper paste, for the premium ones, that's what they recommend in the note.
Because that's what the stuff's designed for. You don't want wrinkles in your wallpaper.
Well, I need to get my new ones reprinted out onto foam board, because apparently that sticks a lot better.
Right, so it's actually printed to the foam board.
Yeah.
Right, I'm with you.
So rather than getting it and doing it wrong, I'm just going to pay and get it done properly.
J94 says, I like the new Princess Royal Hornby is making. Yeah, I must admit, I saw the pre-production model at Worley, and I've got some photographs of it actually. Hattons were very kind to let me use their light booth to get some photos of it. Basically, they already had it in there and were taking photos themselves, so I just went, oh, can I get a photo? It does look really good. I'm looking forward to being able to review it. I've got a previous version of the Princess Royal, and I quite like the older version. So it'll be interesting to see how they've updated it, but certainly it's one that's on my radar.
David Watts asked, how's Zoe?
Zoe is asleep downstairs. She's not feeling the greatest. I think she's coming down with another cold. Now, Zoe is a sickly child, and she does seem to pick up every single bit of illness that's going around. So she's sleeping downstairs, and hopefully she'll be all right. But I'm going to keep an eye on her.
Lichfield Central, views on the new Batman 158. Do you want to take that one?
I have no knowledge of this item. You knew that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So how much of that Pepsi to the max is there? Is there a lot left or just a bit?
There's one left.
Oh,
Would you like?
can I?
Help yourself.
I've had the Tsingtao beer, which has left me a bit thirsty. Actually, no, I think it's the Scampi fries now.
As I said earlier, I think it's a fantastic model. I can't fault them on it, apart from it being like 15 years too late. But to me,
what do you think about the price?
I don't.
Do you think it's? I mean, I know all the prices have gone up, but do you think
I say it's an expensive price, but I'm willing to pay that price for an Akira Scale Originals 97.3. So I suppose it depends on perspective. For me, I feel like it's too much, primarily because it's not in the right liveries for me.
But if they did do the right livery, does it offer the value for money?
I think it is a very good model, and if they did it in Transport for Wales, I probably would buy one. You know, I have to say, my flexible friend would come out and pay for it.
Say what?
My flexible friend.
Really?
Yeah. It's 200 RRP is at £259 for sale.
So how much do you think they'll come down to if you buy it from a box shifter?
I reckon about 230, 240.
Right.
I think I've seen some on there for 220, but I don't know if they're sound, so don't quote me on that. But currently they only do regional railways, GWR and East Midlands trains.
Right.
So, because that's all they have the licenses for.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. If they can't get the license, or the license is just too expensive, then they just won't do that livery. No matter how many people go, oh, you should do such and such a livery because there's a lot of demand for it. But I'm guessing if they did get a license from Arriva Wales, that would push up the price dramatically because that license has to be paid for.
Yeah.
And then you get people moaning about how it's like 30 quid more expensive for that one livery.
I mean, that's it. we can all rumour and speculate, but we don't know what's gone on in the background.
Yeah, I'm guessing that they're not going to officially comment on it because they don't want to prejudice any negotiations that may or may not be taking place either now or in the future.
No. But meanwhile,
Mark
it gives us
Wilson.
something to chat about.
Mark Wilson, 173 watching. Is that a record? No, I think we've had over 200 before. But also, don't forget to like. How many likes have we got?
78.
Well, that means that nearly 100 people who are watching have not hit that like button. And also, you need to subscribe as well.
Oh, jumped to 82 now.
It always does that when I say that. It's brilliant to watch. But also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well if you've not already done so. And that will keep you in the know for all the new videos that are coming up. And we've got a whole host of videos to come in the new year. We've got more on a series of building small, easy, quick layouts and dioramas. And coming up, if not this coming Friday, then the Friday afterwards, we've got the next in the series of the quick speed builds with me as the Queen of Speed Modelling. Brings you a O-gauge layout in a tight form factor for a very, very knockdown price in 7 hours of build time, and it's really going to be a good one. We've also got reviews of the new Daypole Sentinel locomotive in O-gauge, and a whole host of other things too. There's some Hornby reviews as well. I've got filmed, just need to get them to go out. And of course, we've also got the new announcements from Hornby coming on Monday the 6th of January. Is it a Monday?
Yes.
Yes. So the live stream on Monday the 6th is going to be quite a bit earlier. What we're planning on doing is going from, I think it's 9 o'clock is when the announcements are being made. So we're looking to be live streaming from 9. So watch this space. I don't know whether I'll be down at Margate. It all depends on whether they're holding an event and whether I'm still invited. But certainly we will be covering the Hornby 2020 launch.
What else have we got? Anthony the Dodge has got to go, so bye Anthony. Thank you for joining in. Sparky says, what's the most expensive loco that you and Dave have purchased, and was it worth it? And the most expensive thing I've purchased is a rake. It's the 67 and DVT. The buffet car on there can go anywhere up to £80 to £100. The DVT is a similar price.
What do you pay?
I must admit, I got mine through a friend, so I got it well reduced.
Mates rates.
I won't say how much because it's offensive to how cheap I got it. But yes, I feel it's absolutely worth it. And that's where it comes down to personal perspective, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, everything is, if you're happy with the price and it's something you really want, then yeah, it's well worth it. I mean, the most expensive single item that I have ever bought myself, that would be my Hornby Princess Coronation Duchess of Montrose with sound, and that cost me just a shade over £200. And for me, I had to buy it because when I was a kid, I had Hornby 00, and one of the locomotives that I had as a kid was the Hornby 00 Duchess of Montrose in BR Early Pressed Green, and that is exactly the livery that Hornby brought out. Now, I wouldn't normally have paid that kind of money for a locomotive. It kind of, I think it's £203 I spent. If it hadn't have been that locomotive, I wouldn't. But for me, it was that retro nostalgia, picking up a locomotive in super detailed form that I had on my childhood toy railway. And for me, that made it worth every penny. But yeah, it's the only time I've ever spent over 200 quid on a single item.
What else have we got? Are you going to do a Bolton Model Club vlog in 2020?
If they ask me to, then yeah, I happily come along and do some stuff with them. We have filmed down there in the past. Actually, no, we didn't film down there, but we went and I think we're on one of their videos. We certainly gave a talk when we were doing just after GMRC. Went down there and gave a couple of kind of waxed lyrical, and everybody listened in. But yeah, I'm happy to do more stuff with them. It's just a case of time getting schedules to align. I know that their open night is actually Monday night, so they'll be down there now, possibly listening, possibly not. But yeah, I'm quite happy to do stuff.
What else have we got? How does licensing work for train companies that don't exist? It depends on the agreement. Some of them go to the Department for Transport, others remain with the parent company at the time. So I know like East Midlands Trains was owned by Stagecoach, so they own the rights to that one. It all depends.
Yeah, because I think post-privatisation it's a bit easier because it's more obvious who owns it. But anything that is British Rail and before, it can be a bit of a minefield. I mean, some of them, like the British Rail liveries themselves, they've gone to Department for Transport now. But then there's other stuff where it's not necessarily clear cut. The case in point was actually the Rail Riders' intellectual property that had passed to a number of different organisations such as Crew Heritage Centre, National Railway Museum, York Model Railway Club, and what was the name? Somebody Heron. I'm wanting to say Tim Heron, it wasn't Tim. So there was basically 4 people who legitimately owned the intellectual property, but some of those, like York Model Railway Society, had folded, and it wasn't clear whether they had bought outright rights or were merely allowed to use it by British Rail, which would mean that they were non-transferable rights. So that one was kind of a complete mess. What I do know is that you don't gain the intellectual property simply by registering it. You have to actually legally own it in the first place. But yeah, certainly with that one, it was a complete mess. Going further back, stuff like Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway, London and North Western Railway, all of these pre-grouping companies were actually owned by British Rail. So again, I guess they've all passed to something like the National Railway Museum.
Either that or the Department for Transport.
One or the other, although I suspect that the Department for Transport has offloaded a load of stuff to the likes of the National Railway Museum. So historical ones like Lancashire and Yorkshire.
I suppose it might simply depend on if the Department for Transport can make money on it.
Well, there's like Great Western Railways has re-emerged, hasn't it? So have they had to? They will have had to have bought the use of the name from somebody, I guess. Whether that's the National Railway Museum or the Department for Transport, I don't know.
Mark asks, do I think I will ever model something different to a Reaver? Yes, simply. My plan in the Loft is to change it to the West Coast Main Line, more specifically the bit between Wigan and Warrington where I live. I want to model that because I've got 6.
Is that 4-track at that point?
It goes from 4 to 3 to 4.
So why did it go down to 3?
No idea.
Was there formerly 4 tracks then?
I feel like there was, but they did a load of point work last year, and simplified all the track and junctions and everything else. And the outside line, to be fair, is hardly ever used. So I feel it's only kept there. It will change to 444 when HS2 comes eventually.
Right.
Because that's what the outside line is reserved for. That's why they've not looked it up yet.
Right.
But yes, I will.
And what period will you model it in?
Now, right now. So that's my plan is to do it current day as it is now because
you'll have the overhead lines and everything.
Yep, I'm going to go for the masts. I'm not going to go for the cables because that's going to be a bit too much.
I think the trouble with the cables is if you get them scale thickness, they're very prone to breaking.
Yeah.
If you get them so that they're strong, they just look stupid.
But many a time, working for Stagecoach, I've had the privilege of sitting in a cab of a Pendolino, and there's a bit as you come through Golden Junction, and it splits. You can go the line that goes to the left goes to the Liverpool to Manchester, either through Newton Willows or down towards
right. Yeah, I know.
Manchester anyway that way. And as it comes to the right, it goes over a little bridge, and it hits sort of full tilt as it goes round it.
Right.
And it's a really nice thing to just sit as it goes round.
I always get travel sick when we go into tilt mode. I have to actually sit with my eyes closed. I must make quite a sight sat there like this, going, I'm not asleep, I just don't want to puke.
Yeah, it's that to me. I want to try and recreate a smaller version of that because I'll have 16 foot by 10 foot as a square.
So is your loft about? That's probably.
I think it's slightly longer by a couple of foot, but yes, it's not far off.
Well, I don't know. I've got about. Let's see. I've got about 16 feet by 12. It's hard to do because of the slope.
It is hard to judge because you've got slope on 3 sides.
Yeah, because we're at the end of the terrace. It's a shame in a way because the one next door will have a vertical wall either side. So actually, in terms of usable space, they've probably got an extra 6 feet that way. Plus they've got a vertical wall, which is...
My loft's like New Junctions though, with supports every 2 feet. So,
oh, so you've got like roof trusses.
Yeah, so for me, I'm gonna have to put it between them.
Have you seen? Is it North Yorkshire Moors Model Railway, something like that? He's got that kind of roof space,
yeah.
But he's made an incredible model railway, and such that actually the roof spars don't impinge on the model.
New Junction's got to go. So bye, Richard.
Oh, take care. It's been great to have you in the live stream. We need to hook up and do something. I know you're down in Hinckley, so it's a bit of a trek, but we need to hook up and do a collaborative video. I think it's a must. I'll bring the pizza.
I'm trying to think who you are about. Is that not...
McBenman one says, hi Jenny, can you come to the old Voss Steam Railway in Bergen, Norway? Would you like the link? I'd love to come, but it's a long journey, and getting the time and also what it would cost would probably be a little bit prohibitive. But thanks very much for the suggestion. I'm certainly going to try and get out to some preserved lines this year. We did a few last year, went to the East Lancs a few times. Actually, I get quite a lot of access behind the scenes at the East Lancs. Not by design, it just kind of happens. I have a face that opens doors. I'd love to go and do the Great Central, particularly the Montserrat Mineral Railway that they've reinstated. I'd be quite keen to go and see that. But again, it's just pure time. And I'd love to go to the Bluebell Railway. It's a line which I followed closely throughout its expansion, going right back into the 1980s. Yet I've never actually visited it.
Richard says when he's down at mine next, we'll sort something out, and we'll what we might do actually is go to the East Lancs. That might be a good video for us.
Yeah, could do.
You can sort that.
I know somebody who can possibly get us access into the sheds.
That would be good.
Yeah, I can, because Les has got, he's got some kind of relative there who has the ability to gain access, because I did a full access all areas tour.
I saw, I was very jealous.
Yeah, he arranged that, so I'll speak to Les about that.
The North is disappearing. Happy New Year, North. Have a good one.
Oh, yeah, take care. Great to have you in the chat, and hopefully see you next week when we'll be doing the Hornby 2020 announcements.
Yeah, as my local heritage one, it is something I've wanted to go down, but I always find it weird that they don't open up the sheds.
When you actually go in them, it's a very industrial place. It's not geared up to having people tracking around.
The GCR one's the same, but even if they just do days, I've never seen them do a day where they open. Do you know what I mean? Where they
maybe as a staffing thing, but also
possibly.
You can't just walk down the tracks to get to the sheds. You have to go into Buckley Wells Depot.
Yeah.
So it's like a separate destination to itself, but there's no real parking there. I think that, all being said, they're probably just quite happy to keep it the way it is. And when you walk around the yard there's an awful lot of stuff just dumped in that yard. There was actually a Class 8, which I couldn't believe was there. It had all its windows smashed by vandals. And it was just left there with rain getting into the cab and everything. And it's like...
James, are you ever down the Holyhead line ever? If so, when? I will be at some point soon. Not quite sure when.
Trekking around on the
I'm
road?
trying to do more. Yeah, especially in the areas I like. I know we go on holiday to Betheli every year, so I always get the chance to do the Cambrian line when it's nice and sunny.
So do you go by train all the way then?
No, so we drive there, and then we're just outside Betheli where we stay anyway.
Right.
So I just trek into Betheli and then get a day rover and just run down the line.
See, I've known people who've been into like getting this day rover or a week rover and going trekking around. But I've never done that myself. So is it the enjoying the journey, or is it about being behind certain locos? What is it for you?
For me, because it's a 158 unit anyway, it's the whole journey and enjoying the scenery and things like that.
Right, so it's the scenery of the route rather than the train itself.
It's one of the only routes I know where it goes from absolutely beautiful coastline to a castle, you know, to stunning mountains, and then back to a small little town. It's amazing. On a rainy day, however, I will say it is a bit
boring.
It's a bit like Wales in the rain. It's a bit, yeah.
What I always found with Wales was that if you're right on the coast, the weather tends to be a lot better. You can see the clouds go over and then they kind of dump on Snowdon.
Yes.
But because when I was at Harlech for the honeymoon, we went in the sea. We were sat in the sea, swimming around and stuff, and we were just watching the bad weather go over the top. Didn't rain on us, and then you'd see it raining about a mile or two inland, and it stayed bone dry. Broughton MCR says, got to go. Thanks everyone. It's been great having you in, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not already done so, and tickle that like button. Yeah, David Watson's tilt on trains is why they didn't get very far with the original APT. Wasn't the problem with the APT that it was making everybody tremendously sick?
Yeah. They hadn't figured out. I think it got down to the point of the intensity of the tilt that they were going to was too much.
Yeah.
I think that's where the Pendolino goes to, I think, 8% tilt, 8-degree tilt. Sorry.
What was the APT doing?
I'm sure it was more than that. Someone will put in chat with.
But couldn't they have just dialed it back on the APT?
I think it was just a combination of various different things. You know.
Because why not? They must have ploughed a fortune into the APT development and then to just bin the project. What was that about?
It's because the HST won the race. It was between the two, wasn't it, back in the day? It was the HST that was being developed as a sideline to the APT, and the HST came along and just smashed it out of the park.
But surely the APT would have taken it further. They could have gone faster on more lines.
Exactly, Kelly, yeah. And it didn't help. BR took all of the press out and got them very drunk, and then put them on a tilt with massive windows. So
they all basically just became the vomit comet.
Yeah. And it failed as well at Carlisle, I think it failed at. They had to stop on the original ones.
Somerset Andy says, really have to go now. Thanks for a great live stream. Tell Zoe that the best Mega Drive game ever was the ice hockey. Bye, guys and girls. Well, look, you take care. And yeah, I think Zoe does like her hockey game, so she's probably way ahead of you on that one. Yeah, Ham Shackleton says, if I recall, the APT had tilt mechanism and reliability problems as well. I can imagine, because it was kind of right there at the forefront of the technology. Oh, kept getting stuck tilted over. That probably wasn't the greatest to be on.
It was Crew. I was thinking that it failed at, not Carlisle. I know it began with the C, so it wasn't far off. Hunty said, don't you think the people of the time did not want the APT?
Mark Wilson says, good night, Middles. Good night to you.
Bye, Mark.
People are starting to, at 9:30. A lot of people, I guess, want to get an early night, ready for a full day of learning the words to Auld Lang Syne. So it's actually coming up on. We've done just over 2.5 hours, so we might start to round off now as well.
Yes.
If you're wanting to.
Yes,
and
that
then
sounds good. I can let you film some Aruba sessions if you want.
Yeah, we can do. Something different for trains going by videos.
Exactly.
My fans will be like, oh my god, you've gone.
It's not Steam.
You've gone on. Hey, no, you've seen some of my trains going by videos. I do BR Blue.
Alright. Yeah.
See, this is mine, this one here, and this is like post-privatisation, run up to privatisation, and
Litchfield says, do you think any manufacturers will make an Avanti West Coast Pendolino? I do think so eventually. Somebody will.
I think as time goes on, there's going to be more and more of the models as yet done will be done. I mean, 10 years ago, if you'd have said, you know, we'll get a 72XX 282 Mikado tank, people would have gone, nah, it'll never work. Or even like the prototype Delta, people would have said it was too niche, or a Class 53.
Yours is up there, isn't it? And it's one of the best-selling models they've ever made.
Yeah, they keep having to do new production runs. It's been very, very successful for them. But you know, there's a lot of almost obscure. I mean, like W4 Packets. You'd have said, oh, there'll be a mainstream manufacturer releases a W4 Packets, and then follow. Oh, the 48DS.
Yep.
You know, you wouldn't have believed it, but now we're getting these models, and I think it's only a matter of time before the missing models get done. So we are going to see like Class 1, Class 2, Class 6. The only one I could see not getting done for various reasons is the Class 13, and I think that's because it's too niche and it's something that you can kit bash fairly readily out of a pair of Hornby Class 8s.
I must admit, one of the best ways I've found to influence what does get made, as much as I don't dislike RM Web, I just think it's a very insular forum at times.
There's a few very toxic people on there.
They do their poll of what people would like to see, and that information does go into what the manufacturers make. So if you do get round to voting in it, make sure you vote if it comes round.
But doesn't it tend to railroad you in certain directions? It's almost like there's a short list of things to pick
There is a few where it's select one when you really would like. I'd love to, you know, select
like,
a few.
I'd love to see a Decapod, but it's not an option on the list.
Yeah, but as the best way to influence, that is certainly the main outlet that people, certainly the major manufacturers, take their feed from.
Because I think as well, manufacturers, they're not going to make something which nobody wants if there's an option to produce something. If everybody keeps saying, oh, can we have such and such, can we have such and such, eventually it's going to turn up. I mean, the D-Class is a case in point from Daypol and Rails. It's been holding quite high in wish lists for a number of years.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, when I was at the press event and they were keeping it reasonably secret, and then they marched us over to it and went, da-da, there it is, that's the one we're doing. I was actually like, finally somebody's doing it. You know, it wasn't a great surprise. The surprise for me was that it took a manufacturer that long to actually get round to announcing it.
That was probably just scheduling it in with the NRM that took that long.
Possibly. But that's a model actually I'm looking forward to this year. And actually the one that I'm really looking forward to and have been for a while, and I'm a bit disappointed that it still hasn't seemed to turn up, is the Rails Terrier. Still waiting for that. It was supposed to be out for Wally, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. I have asked Rails, but I've not received a response.
They did say, I'm sure it was on one of the interviews on the Wally channel, they said there was a production issue with one of the details.
It was the circuit board.
And they just wanted it perfect, so they'd rather release a perfect model.
There was an issue with the circuit board. Something to do with the circuit board wasn't right, so they're basically having to remanufacture all the circuit boards. And that's pushed it back. But they thought they'd have it out for Christmas, and it's not happened. But their website still says out from October. So the website...
As long as they've left the year off, you're alright. It's technically accurate.
Yes, I didn't say which October. But I'd really love to get my hands on one of the improved engine green ones of those to review, but I'm still waiting. I have asked Rails, but they studiously ignored that paragraph in my email. They answered other points, but they just didn't, either they didn't notice that paragraph, or maybe they just didn't have an answer and they thought that we're going to keep quiet about it because whatever we say seems to change.
Right. shall we start to wrap this up then?
No worries. Well, look, anyway, it's been great to have you all in the room. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not already done so, and like this video too. And also don't forget that the entirety of this video and the 2 false starts that we had, it may even have been 3, because I had a few real big glitches on YouTube. You can watch all of those once YouTube's processed them out, and you can catch up on anything that you missed. But it's really great for the company. A big thanks as well for the 2 people who, actually I think it was 1 person donated twice on the super chat. So that's in
This is
response.
Wardle Road.
It was, yeah. So big thanks to Wardle Road. And look, we'll see you again. Well, I will certainly see you again next Monday. But a big thanks to Dave Jones, aka Potter Small.
You are more than welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, and I hope you get full recovery from the evil that's been striking you down.
I will try. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see some proper stuff on your layout.
Wash your mouth out. Yeah.
Right. I will.
You get the slow horn.
Yeah, I get the slow horn to beep it out. Right, we'll have the awkward end bit where it carries on for 10 seconds after we've pressed end.
When I have it the other way around, you just basically get a shot of my finger creeping towards the lens and me going, how do we stop